Mic check, 1 2 1 2. 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 Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Seattle Rick 206, aka that boy Rick, aka they call him Slick, aka Hype Man Rick 206, aka 2D Hydro Gang Rick. I appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Please take this opportunity to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. We are grinding. We are grinding. Was given a new version of the game this morning. And to my surprise, I was able to have my Seattle Supersonics boat added to the game. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, so I'm very excited about having my boat added to the game. I now I can battle. It's in the 2020 program, so I can battle the 2020 boats, and I'm excited about that. But please, you guys, as you guys see the slideshow go across, please take a second to go and look up the SONICS Legends Fund, the SONICS Legends Fund. I want to just bring some awareness to that as a program. That's a program that's out there to help the our Seattle Supersonics legends. Who's had like health issues and stuff like that. So we just want to make sure that we bring awareness to that situation and many other situations around the community. So please, if you can, help these situations, help these organizations, help these groups that are trying to help others. Show your heart, show your love, show your respect, and we can only strive and we can only grow together. So I appreciate you guys. It's your boy Seattle Rick 206. You guys will have footage of the 2019 Tri-Cities waterfallies, the 2019 2020 hydros, which we will be running. Added is the new Seattle Supersonics U67 boat, especially made for your boy Seattle Rick 206, so we can battle the other boats. So you guys sit back, relax, enjoy yourselves. I hope your Saturday evening has been good. I hope you guys are going to be safe in whatever you do. And if you have nothing to do, come on through. We chilling for a little bit. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And on with the program. Please, if you guys can. You also can support through Cash App. It's right there, bottom left hand corner, Cash App. It's right down there. Appreciate you guys. Anything and everything is accepted and appreciated. On to the program. Let's get it.
To Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. That's the 12. J. Michael Kelly, Graham Trucking. You got Jimmy Shane. Boy, that boat just is looking extremely fast on the water, heading into turn number 3. Jimmy Shane in the home street, the 6. Jimmy Shane comes into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And hello to our Buffalo Brothers friends up there, the best boat racing fans on the circuit. So JMK is going to slow down as he comes across the Bosch Thermador start-finish line. Jimmy Shane is backing off the throttle a bit, too. I know it's early to be claiming lanes. On the outside, here comes Eccles' bright orange boat across the start-finish and onto the front stretch, and he'll lead the other drivers into Agri-Service turn number 1.
I wonder if we'll see the 7 cut here, because he's the one that's kind of hanging back right now behind the 3 other boats. And I see him cut across here.
I think it's a little early. He could. He could, but I'm not sure what it would do because we're just now inside 3 minutes.
Well, he was looking.
He was looking, and, as we always say, if you've got a real good maneuver to get lane 1, I'm not sure you want to use it in heat 1A. You may want to save that one for 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This should be a very good heat on paper.
But he actually, I think he also saw that the 12 was too far along, that even if he had cut at that point, he was not going to beat the 12 back across. So he couldn't have claimed lane 1 anyway, so he thought the discretion was the better part of valor.
And just to mention to our fans, we're talking about cutting the race course, and that is a legal maneuver. You can cut from the back stretch to the front stretch at the west end of the race course. You can cut the course from the front stretch to the back stretch at the bottom end of the race course down toward the Blue Bridge.
So the boat's up at the top end of the course now, heading into the Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. You can see Graham
2 minutes.
trucking
2
on
minutes.
the inside with J. Michael Kelly, red boat. That looks like lane number 2 is going to be Shane right now. On the outside, Eccles in the bright orange 440 bucket list. Then you've got Henderson back there in the 7, Boitano, Holmes. Alongside the 11 with Jamie Nielsen. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D Hydraulics. So right now it's JMK in lane number 1 heading across the start-finish line down to the front stretch. Eccles is going to pull even with him. What's your time, Brad?
Well, right now it's 1:27, and I have an unofficial timing mark that says you do not want to be at this entrance buoy at 1:30. It's right now 1:20, so I think they're in pretty good shape. I don't expect anybody to move from right here, and if it stays this way, it's going to be Kelly in 1, Shane in 2. We'll see where, and there he goes.
He's cutting the course.
There he goes. I didn't think he was going to do it, but Bert said, I'm going to jump to the backstretch and get into lane 1. Watch the red boat coming over, Kevin.
Yeah, they're trying to get up there, and I don't know, the overlap could be an issue. It looks like he just made it.
He got there. He got plenty of time. That time he knew. He took the back front stretch a little bit faster, I believe, and knew at that point he could cut across, and he does look like he has claimed lane 1, which moves Kelly out to 2, Shane out to 3, Eccles will be out in 4, and I believe Nilsson will be out in 5, who he's going to have to back off here so he can make sure he's not too early with that 5 after the clock that he needs to run.
30 seconds, Mike.
30 seconds to the start of Heat 1A, presented by CO Energy on News Radio 610 KONA, 610KONA.com, and all along the shoreline here of Columbia Park on the PA system. Glad you're along for the ride. This should be a dandy. So Henderson in lane number 1, Shane in lane number 2. Now check that. It's going to be J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2. Now we see Shane in lane number 3, Eccles in 4, and on the outside, it'll be Nielsen in the 11.
2, 1.
It's a clean start, and it's going to be Jimmy Shane that's going to take the lead away from J. Michael Kelly coming down the front stretch. Looks like he's not really hitting it too hard just yet. They're staying deck to deck down the front stretch.
Let's get this Half-O Columbia Cup started. Shane down here first with a couple of outlets, but he's on lane 3, Kevin.
And Kelly's going to beat him out of the turn, hopping a little bit. But now we get to the backstretch where speed will be Shane's weapon, and he has a lot of it.
Bert Henderson lost a lot of boat speed heading through Agri-Service turn 1 into Tire Factory turn number 2, and he is not a factor right now. It's a 2-boat race. Jimmy Shane on the outside, J. Michael Kelly on the inside in the Graham Trucking. So it's Home Street on the outside and Graham Trucking on the inside. Bert Henderson's trying to reel him back in, but he's got a long way to go. And Dustin Eccles might have a chance, actually, to get Henderson coming into turn number 3. Our Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. Exit pin at turn number 4 from Buffalo Brothers. It's Jimmy Shane. And Shane, I just feel like he's holding back. He's really not pressing that hard right now as he comes across for lap number 1 at the start-finish line. J. Michael Kelly is just inside the rooster tail. He's going to fall almost a rooster tail behind as they head to turn number 1.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Shane with about 3/4 of a rooster tail flying the boat coming down here. Remember, fans, we're running a Gold Cup format here, so we got 4-lap preliminary heats. This is lap number 2, Kevin.
Kelly bouncing out of the water, having to back off a little bit, so Shane's going to have a rooster tail lead as they head down to the backstretch. Kelly trying to reel him in on the inside. Here comes Henderson at a Tire Factory turn 2. Nielsen trying to reel it. He's bouncing through some rollers as he's trying to catch Eccles for 4th.
Yeah, and watch that 5th place boat. Jamie Nielsen may have a chance to catch Eccles just when we thought Eccles might have that opportunity to get up and get into 3rd place and beat Henderson down that front stretch. Top end of the course. On the outside, Jimmy Shane in the home street with the lead. But a really nice turn this time for J. Michael Kelly, but he's going to be about a half a rooster tail behind at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Coming over the Bosch Thermador applied start-finish line. It's nearly a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane after the completion of lap number 2. Ooh, big waves up in the top end of the course. Boat's getting loose. Looked like Nielsen is going to go off the plane, and he lost power, and he may have gone through the wake of Eccles, or it could have been Henderson's wake. It was really rough.
Kevin.
It is rough out there right now. The boats are bouncing around. Shane, though, looking really strong, keeping that rooster tail lead over Kelly as they head down the backstretch.
J. Michael Kelly, he's inside the rooster tail, but that speed by Jimmy Shane on the outside. He's got the momentum right now in a really smooth-looking ride. Third place is Henderson. Fourth place is Eccles. Again, Nielsen dead in the water in Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Shouldn't be a factor. He tried to edge out towards the shoreline. Top end of the course. Inside the rooster tail now, it's J. Michael Kelly and the Graham Trucking and the 12 on the inside. On the outside, Shane in the home street, 6 off the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and coming across the start-finish line here for Bosch Thermador Appliances. White flag is out, and it's a half a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane coming down the front stretch in the home street.
Boy, and he's flying. A lot of air underneath it, but he's got a left side mirror that is full of red and black and silver. JMK is not going away, Kevin.
He is not, but he can't get within that rooster tail. So the good news for Kelly is he's able to keep this rooster tail leg. The bad news is he's not able to eat into it as Shane takes the lead down the backstretch.
Jimmy Shane with a full rooster tail lead now coming up the backstretch. Final lap, Heat 1A, brought to you by Con-El Oil, CO Energy. Up the backstretch, it's just over a rooster tail lead, and J. Michael Kelly's really going to have to nail this corner, and something's going to happen. If something were to happen to Jimmy Shane, he may not have the opportunity, but still, you've got the whole front stretch to the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line that Jimmy Shane could pull away again. It is a close race, about a half a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane in the home street. The 6 is going to take the checkered flag.
Eccles nearly caught a rollover here and went out.
He sure did. Boy, he dropped that right sponsor in a hole, and how he did not spin it out, I do not know.
It was great boat control, able to get under power and get back on it. So he'll end up finishing 4th with the 7 finishing in 3rd, and Bert Henderson.
Yeah, 2nd place, J. Michael Kelly. The 1st place will go to Jimmy Shane in the home street. 3rd place, Bert Henderson. And Dustin Eccles will hold on for 4th place, but there was some wild racing out there. It was unbelievable. CO Energy bringing you Heat 1A. So back at the pits, we'll have an opportunity to hear from our drivers. Now, the good news is the 11, J&D, is back up on plane. So it wasn't apparently any type of mechanical issue, but instead traveling through the wake of one of the boats in front and to the side that caused him to cut power. Jamie Nielsen cut power and drifted out off the course to stay out of the way in Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and heads down the front stretch right now aside the bright orange boat of Dustin Eccles.
Show your daughter how much you love her with this beautiful gift. It says,
on the shore, anybody in the river, either side, Pasco or Kennewick, we need you out of the water. All swimmers back to the shore, please. Kevin. Oh, there he is.
And that 99.9 has the same paint scheme that Perkins used to drive in the 21 boat. But when we see the 99.9, I'm used to that black and red and white with the mist rock. So it's a boat that looks familiar, but the number has changed.
Yeah, it's the same race team, still Go Fast Turn Left Racing, so that's why it's got that same color scheme. But when they go to Seattle, they're going to have some more black and red on the boat, and will be that KISW rock, and so they're running with the 99.9 number. 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Jeff Bernard down here. He is on the inside in the Oberto. Just outside of him is Jimmy King driving the Griggs Presents Ace Hardware. Kevin, right in front of you.
They are, and Andrew Tate has hit the gas to try to catch them, because right now it's the 1918 in lane 1. Jimmy King will be in lane 2, and Tate is going to have to try to win this out of lane 3 from the outside. So we'll see. There's lots of time left to maneuver and find your spot. But for right now, that Oberto boat, that beautiful white, green, and red boat on the inside.
At least for now.
225, Michael.
It's all subject to change. Jimmy King is heading up that Top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. Let's see if everybody holds or if anybody cuts across. I don't see anybody cutting across now. So it will be King that will lead the drivers into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And he left plenty of room on the inside for both Tate
2 minutes
and Bernard. So across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line, Jimmy King will watch the other racers. Bernard in 1. You've got Tate in 2. Perkins on the outside. And he probably has a little question in his mind, at least, about that safety hatch, although it's been inspected on how it's going to hold up for him. Peabody's going to be setting up in lane 4. I don't know where Jimmy King's going to end up, guys.
He's going to have to cut the race course because he got down here about 1:40. We're now at 1:25. He's going to cut the course, but he's got to go up to the top end to do it.
Yeah, he got down here way out front of the pack, which means he'll likely be way outside as well as he tries to see what his boat has against some of the best boats on the H1 Unlimited circuit.
Yeah, so across the ESCO electric infield, Jimmy King.
Watch King.
In the Griggs, onto the front stretch.
And it does look like it'll be the 1918 in 1, the 1 in 2, the 98 in 3, and the 99.9, at least for right now, in 4.
So Jimmy King's got to catch those boats coming up the back stretch. He's at full throttle in the 3.
Not cut the course.
50.
He is not cutting the course. He decided to go a different tack and essentially just run full bore the entire length.
Wow, what a place to watch.
Yeah, Bernard in lane number 1, Tate in lane number 2.
I'll tell you what, though, if he can keep this up, if he times this right, he will be the fastest boat at the start finish.
Where's he going to end up, Kevin?
Looks like 2.
He's zooming up, and he wants to take lane 2.
Lane 2 or 3, I think. I think he's in 3.
Yeah, but he jumped over to lane 3, just outside of Tate.
15 seconds.
So Bernard on the inside in the Alberto. Oh, boy, the sun glints off that metallic paint. Tate in 2, King in 3.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark.
It's a clean start on the outside. Perkins with boat speed and momentum. Peabody's falling back a little bit in the 98. They're coming down the front stretch to Brad Luce.
And first of all, the start has been ruled legal. It's a good start. Tate down here first from lane 2, but he's got King right with him, and Bernard on the inside.
They're bouncing off the rough water. Can the 1918 catch on the inside of Tate? He has got a ton of boat speed.
Oh, Bernard had a great turn. Jeff Bernard had a fantastic turn in the 1918 Obordo Super Salami. Tate's pulling away on that back stretch. Jimmy King is holding with the pack, though. He's on the outside coming up that back stretch, and he's pretty much even right now with Bernard in the Oberto. Your race leader by a half a rooster tail now is the Delta Reel Track, the 1 with Andrew Tate, heading into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3, and over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Water looks pretty smooth, at least for right now, and it's Tate with the lead, and then that battle for second place is deck to deck. Now that we can see Jimmy King, he is dead even with Jeff Bernard in the Oberto as they come across the start-finish line. It's going to be Jimmy King edging Bernard for second place coming down the front stretch. Your race leader is Tate.
Tate, our defending Hapo Columbia Cup champion, going to get down here first with an auto rooster tail on the field, and right now that second place is King, but watch Bernard on the short course, Kevin.
Oh, they are bouncing around out there, and King goes into the wash of the 1 and has to back up, but still a lot of power, and he has the lead down the backstretch over the 1918 for second.
Yeah, second place battle is a good one between King on the outside, Bernard on the inside. Bernard's going to have that short course around the top end of the course, and he'll have a chance to pull even with King again. But even though King went through that rough water, Kevin, he's doing extremely good heading up the backstretch.
I do not know how he kept that thing going with the pace that he did, but he essentially was just right through the rooster tail of the 1, and he came out of it somehow still ahead of the 1918.
Tate comes out of the exit pin at Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. He's got the lead. Jimmy King is trying to challenge him down the front stretch. He's pulling up to that end of the rooster tail and trying to eat into the lead a little bit, but I don't know if he can get there. Bernard has fallen back, but holds on to third place right now. Watch Jimmy King in Agri-Service turn number 1.
Well, he made up some ground on Andrew Tate. Andrew knows he's there. Bernard has fallen off the pace after taking a big hop at the top end of the race course, Kevin.
Yeah, Tate has sort of settled that boat a little bit. Not quite as rough going through Tire Factory turn 2. Jimmy King trying to use all that piston power down the backstretch to see if he can catch the 1.
Yeah, Tate has started to pull away. Coming down the backstretch, he's got that full rooster tail lead over Jimmy King, but what a great performance by the Turbinator. Great job by Jimmy King, even through that rough water. Watch him come into turn number 3. Sun has gone behind a cloud, kind of a little bit darker, not as brilliant outside on the Columbia River course right now. Exit pin of that turn number 4. It's going to be Tate with the lead by the full rooster tail. Jimmy King on the outside just comes clear of that exit pin, and they'll come across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line. And it's a rooster tail lead now for Tate. King's trying to get to him, but he just can't get there.
Boy, Andrew Tate got a lot of air underneath that boat. Still got the full rooster tail. I actually thought Jimmy King would have let him go by now. But Kevin, he is still charging on the outside.
Oh, boy, the 3, the power of the 3. Still showing. Tate, though, with a short way around the course, able to get that lead back to a rooster tail. But King trying to catch him out the back stretch.
Benefit of the inside lane for Andrew Tate. And is he holding back a little, maybe, Kevin?
You know, this last couple times down here, it has definitely been a little more on the water than he was the first 2 laps. So I'm wondering if he's trying to settle it down to deal with this rough water.
All right, white flag is out. Checkered flag is waiting. The boat drivers right now to complete the final lap of Heat 1B. Brought to you by Arizona Mobile. And it's going to be Andrew Tate in the 1. Delta Real Track just onto the front stretch now to the Bosch Thermador appliance to start-finish line. He's got a little air underneath that boat as it comes across and takes the checkered flag. Jimmy King, what a great run in the Turbinator for 2nd place. 3rd place out on the course will be the beautiful 1918 Oberto Super Salami with Jeff Bernard. Brian Perkins will end up in 4th. And a nice job also out on the course for Corey Peabody in the 98, who's just into turn number 4 now at the exit pin. But Perkins, questions answered. That crew did a great job to make sure that that hatch was, well, retooled so that it would fit. That was not an easy job.
No, it wasn't. And so the tip of the cap to those guys. But I'll tell you what, I didn't see that coming. Did anybody see King running that hard and sticking with Andrew? I would have.
He didn't give up.
I would have put another one of those nickels of mine that Bernard might have been the second boat in that field. But boy, did he get handled on the outside by Jimmy King and piston power. That's the best we've seen that boat run here since the 2017 final heat. That was a good one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that 3 last couple years hasn't looked as strong as we just saw it today. So let's hope that's a good sign for things to come, and we can get the Turbinator in that final heat showing some of that strength.
And if I can have this quick conversation on the air, Glenn Bogan, I know you're going to be down on the lower dock. You can pick up our winner down there, Andrew Tate. I will stay on the upper dock, and I'll get a hold of
where there was some burn marks, some scorch marks, and you could smell it. That was what I noticed. But I can tell you that the 5 boats in the Unlimited T2A are on the water right now, all ready to go. I think they're going to wait till this 12 gets either a safe location or all the way to the dock before we start our 5-minute mark.
So again, Heat 2A.
lead him across the line. He's going to get down here first. Look at Andrew Tate flying.
Corey Peabody in the 98 and the 1918 with Jeff Bernard. So that would leave in Heat 2B from El Pueblo Market. The 1 with Andrew Tate. The 3 with Jimmy King. Bert Henderson in the 7. Jamie Nielsen in the 11. And Dustin Eccles in the 440.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, Glenn.
Just to let you know, we are within 5 of the 5. We've got at least 4 boats in the water. So,
been all night getting her put back together if there's any hope. Points recap coming up at the conclusion of our broadcast just before the Hydro Race wrap-up show. Thanks to Perfection Miller Paint. Have over 130 years experience in making paint for the Northwest with everyday value, pricing, and quality. Made here for here. It's Perfection Miller Paint. 88 degrees. Winds are at 13 miles per hour out of the southwest at the Pasco Tri-Cities Airport. Our high expected today at 89, just 81 degrees for tomorrow.
And the 12 is on the water.
Our weather updates from Anderson Dental. Nearly 2 decades in South Kennewick, creating and saving smiles. They're online at KennewickSmiles.com. All right, boat race fans are smiling now because we are back to racing action. The Graham Trucking, the 12, is heading up the backstretch with J. Michael Kelly.
Yep, there goes the 6 on the backstretch, 98 also on the backstretch. The Alberto, the 1918, also making its way onto the course. And then our final boat is at the 99.9, also out on the water. So 5 boats in, 5 boats on the water. Well, full field.
And how about Brian Perkins' crew? One of the groups that were really scrambling to get that escape hatch fashioned so it would actually fit after they lost the hatch yesterday in the river. All right, out of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. And the parade lap for Graham Trucking, the 12, with J. Michael Kelly. Coming across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line now. Then you've got Jimmy Shane in the 6th, the home street, up on the front stretch and across start-finish now. American Dream, that's a beautiful boat, the 98 Graham Trucking, their second entry here with Corey Peabody along the start-finish line now. The Alberto 1918, Bernard, Jeff Bernard on the inside. On the outside, Brian Perkins.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Well, there you are, Brad.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. We had a little delay getting the timing here, and my watch is off. But it's off by a square minute, so I think I can handle this.
It's all about the countdown.
High-end math up here.
By the way, they've actually taken Hop's boat all the other side of the Blue Bridge to keep it out of the way of the hydros.
Okay, so they'll bring it back to the docks for extrication a little bit later.
Yep. 2:30. 2:30 to the start.
Well, we got a group of 2 and a group of 3 out there with Kelly and Shane up front. The 1918, the 98, and the 99.9, all kind of their own group back there.
And it makes you wonder what the drivers are, what's going through their mind right now. Of course, J. Michael Kelly's thinking, well, I got lane 1.
Yeah. But that won't stop him from cutting the course somewhere.
Or somebody. Oh, here we go. Cutting across the Alberto. Super Salami, Jeff Bernard. And Bernard's going to slide into lane number 1 on the front stretch.
2 minutes.
So that may push out JMK. Let's see what Jimmy Shane does coming down the front stretch. Oh, a little bit of a washdown. He had to go through the wake and a little bit of the rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly, Jimmy Shane was out in front of him.
But I wonder if JMK is going nice and slow right now because he has a plan to cut here. But that might, I don't know if it's too early, though. That's the question. Is it too early to cut? Because he is way off.
130. I don't like being down here at 130, and I got a couple of them.
That's early.
There goes Mike.
There goes J-Mike. He took almost the entire...
He's going to be early.
Yeah, that may not be the best of moves to cut across the ESCO electric infield at this point. Yeah, the other boats are hitting it now.
Yeah, he's got to have to keep an eye on that strobe light up top. If it starts blinking, he's under 80 miles an hour. But they're all down together.
1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute to start. Heat 2B, El Pueblo Market. And I guess it will be J. Michael Kelly in lane number 1. It looks like Jimmy Shane will be in lane number 2. Then the Alberto, Jeff Bernard in lane number 3, or it might be Bernard in 2 and Shane in 3. We'll wait until they come around the top end of the course to set that as they start to go into Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3 and over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
Michael, 30 seconds and you got a warning on the 1918. Speed warning.
All right, so the Alberto needs to pick up the pace a little bit, and it's all about that timing to the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line.
I'd be sure.
J. Michael
15.
Kelly in lane 1, Shane in lane number 2, Bernard in 3. Then you've got, let's see, Peabody in lane 4, and lane 5 is Brian Perkins. All right, so the Alberto needs to pick up the pace a little bit, and it's all about that timing to the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line.
I'd be sure.
J. Michael Kelly in lane 1, Shane in lane number 2, Bernard in 3. Then you've got, let's see, Peabody in lane 4, and lane 5 is Brian Perkins. 3, 2, 1, 1. So the leader coming on the outside is going to be Perkins on the inside. Extremely slow start for both of the inside boats, and it's kind of strange that Jimmy Shane is holding back coming down that front stretch a little bit. J. Michael Kelly on the inside.
Shane got down here first, but he only had about a roll like Kelly on the inside. Kevin.
Yeah, they got it in as Kelly and Shane right there, neck to neck on the inside. The Alberto out lane 3 going fine. Perkins on the outside, lane 5 and 4.
JMK in lane number 1, he's on the inside, and he's about 2 boat lengths behind Jimmy Shane, heading up the back stretch. Lap number 1, El Pueblo Markets Heat 2A. 4 laps in this prelim heat. The Alberto with Bernard has fallen back, a rooster tail behind the 2 boats that are out in front. Let's see what Jimmy Shane does in turn number 4. A beautiful turn for Jimmy Shane. He's actually on the outside of J. Michael Kelly, and he's going to take the lead in the 6th. The Home Street Bank coming across the start-finish line now. No speeds given. 3rd place is Jeff Bernard. Your 2nd place boat is inside the rooster tail now and trying to gain on Jimmy Shane. That's J. Michael Kelly coming into Agri-Service turn number 1.
He's staying pretty tight with him. He's back about 4 boat lengths. Kevin, you got a better view.
Absolutely, and Shane is able to keep the lead, but Kelly got up to the back cowling, and now he's about a half a rooster tail back as Shane goes up the back stretch.
J. Michael Kelly got some air coming out of the exit pit of Tire Factory turn number 2. He's coming up the back stretch, and he's a half a rooster tail behind Jimmy Shane now. Back another almost 2 rooster tails is Jeff Bernard. 3rd place, Brian Perkins.
The 3rd place should be Bernard.
Correct, Bernard in 3rd. 4th place would be Brian Perkins, and 5th out there is the Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody. Is coming up the back stretch.
Who's hitting a lot of rough water following these guys around?
There is plenty of rough water to go around. Exit pin turn number 4. And onto the front stretch, Jimmy Shane. And it's still that half a rooster tail lead for Jimmy Shane over J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. 3rd place, Bernard across the start finish line now. He's 2 rooster tails back.
Yeah, coming down here again, Shane has opened up some water. Guys, the start was good. The start was legal. Everybody's on the right lap, but it's still Shane by about 3/4 of a rooster tail, Kevin.
And he's given the room to Kelly, but he can't make up the space. Gain the 12. So it looks like Shane's going to keep that rooster tail. Then expanded as he exits turn 2, going down the back stretch.
So just over a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane. Coming up the back stretch into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 and Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And J. Michael Kelly on the inside, but he has not enough under the cowling to catch up with Jimmy Shane in the home street. Back another 2 rooster tails is Bernard in 3rd in the Alberto Super Salami. Perkins is on the back stretch now, about midway point, and then just coming out of turn number 2 and up the back stretch, Corey Peabody's now at the midpoint of that back stretch. So they're all spread out across the race course right now, and now over a 2 rooster tail lead for Jimmy Shane heading into Agri-Service turn number 1.
Shane's coming down here, got the big lead. I think J. Michael Kelly has said, all right, I'll give you this one. I ran you hard for a couple. Kevin, bring him through the lower corner last time.
Shane looks so smooth on the water. What I'm trying to keep an eye on, though, is that 12 giving up a little too much. The 19-18 might be gaining a little bit on Kelly, but Bernard going out way wide. So it'll be Shane, Kelly, Bernard, 1, 2, 3.
White flag is out. Heat 2A brought to you by Pueblo Market, Jimmy Shane in the 6th, the home street. Flexing muscle and showing that they have some winning to do here on the Columbia River course. Last year, it didn't go their way. This year, it's been a pretty good start so far. At the exit pit of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 comes out a little bit wide. Good photo op for the Buffalo Brothers fans, and walks the sponson. Catch a little air coming across the Bosch Thermador appliance start finish line for the checkered flag in Heat 2A. 2nd place, J. Michael Kelly in the 12, the Graham Trucking. 3rd place boat will be the 1918 Alberto, just onto the front stretch, and a good run, solid run by Jeff Bernard. Brian Perkins is just coming out of turn number 4. onto the front stretch. And he'll end up taking 4th place. And our 5th place boat, Corey Peabody, in the 98 Graham Trucking, just at the exit pin now. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and he'll come across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line now for that 5th place finish. Checking out some of the lap speeds, didn't seem to be rivaling the earlier heat. Looks like the top speed is 149 miles per hour. That was by Jimmy Shane in lap number 3. No, it would have been lap number 3 for the 6. 149 miles per hour was your fastest lap in competition out there for Heat 2A. So Jimmy Shane in the 6 gets the victory. DMZ sponsor on our coverage on News Radio 610 KONA is ESCO Electric of the Tri-Cities, and we saw that maneuver for J. Michael Kelly cutting through the infield to the backstretch to claim lane number 1, but it wouldn't.
But no damage to the boat, so it's a pretty good day.
Yeah, no, that was fun. You know, I'm okay running like that for now. I obviously want to get faster, but that's fun running.
And I think I was pulling away a little bit, and things were all good. And then it kind of started surging a little bit, like it was running out of gas, and I backed up, and then I was just going to finish the race. And then next thing you know, I shut it off because the temp got too hot. And then I radioed into Bob. I said, hey, I'm in lane 2. Let those guys know that they need to go around me. I'm lane 2, drifting to lane 1. And then all of a sudden I looked over and I saw rescue boats coming up.
Greg Hopp, you heard it right there. He hopped in the creek, but it sounded like he saw the patrol boats coming, and so he just shut it off. So,
well, the 2B boats are out on the water on the course now with the U3 and Jimmy King up in lane 1. Here comes Andrew Tate out of turn 2. The 7, the 11, and the 440 also all up on plane. Hit the course. 5 in the books.
And you know, Kevin, you know what I hear? I hear the wind in your microphone picking up.
It has. It really, it's back.
Yeah, no, I can hear it. It's definitely changed a little bit here just in the last 5 minutes.
I'll try to monitor that and see if we can get the situation where.
Oh no, it's all good. Don't worry, the excitement will drown out any wind that was whistling through your microphone. All right, so Jimmy King is heading up to the top end of the course in the Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Rattlesnake Mountain burnout after the fire a couple weeks ago. Cold Creek Blaze in the background. We can see it more clearly now because the smoke and haze has been blown out of here by the winds we've experienced today. Looks like that's Tater coming around the exit pin at turn number 4 at the exit pin in the Delta Reel track. Yeah, it is. Sun's a little bit lower, a little lower angle, shining off the boats. Beautiful colors out on the river. Here comes the bright orange boat across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line. That's Dustin Eccles in the 440. The 7.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Bert Henderson, Moitano Holmes across the start-finish line down the front stretch, and the outside boat, and will still have to remain outside for at least this heat, is Jamie Nielsen in the 11, Reliable Diamond Tool JD Hydraulics.
I think he'll race wherever he can as long as he can get that boat across the start-finish line when it's been 4 laps.
Well, we have an incursion into the ESCO Electric infield, and that will be Bert Henderson heading to the backstretch now.
Hot shot.
Still early.
It will get him a little bit closer and up with all the other boats so that maybe he can be on time with them, or he's got to play it.
Coming up on 2 minutes and 15 seconds, guys. 2:15.
And what did you say, Brad? It'd be too early if they're in the entrance pin of Agri-Service turn number 1 at the $1:30 mark?
Yeah, it's just my unofficial mark. You don't want to be down here at 1:30. You don't want to cross start-finish line at an even 2. You could do the math at 80 miles an hour for 2.5 miles, and you're not going to make it. So I think we're okay. We're at 1:54 right now.
Oh, great. Now it's become a math problem.
You betcha.
I was told there would be no math.
All right, so where are we at right now?
1:45.
Okay, well, here comes Jimmy King.
He's out by himself.
He's doing the same thing.
I think he's going to cut across. Yep,
there he is.
Same thing he did last time. He ended up running 6 hot laps the last game.
But he's going to lose lane 1 out of it.
So Andrew Tate's holding on to that lane 1 at least for now, coming down the front stretch. Henderson would be in 2. I think Eccles might settle into 3, or yeah, Nielsen's got to be outside, right? Yep. Oh, look at Jimmy King. He's cutting back to the infield.
Well, he's got it. We've got 1:10. So I like where everybody sits on the course. Now watch Jimmy.
we're giving away free Donald Trump gold bars. Folks, we're doing a special Black Friday sale.
If Jimmy wanted to really hurry, this could be fun. Jimmy, I don't think he can do it. He can't do it. The other guys are already off the corner. Jimmy's got to come all the way down, and he does.
Well, he's got full speed and momentum. The other boats don't.
He is. He's doing exactly like last time.
Exactly.
He may have fixed those timing marks. This may work again for him.
Oh, he's getting up in the air.
A little bit loose at the exit pin at Tire Factory turn 2, wasn't he?
40 seconds, 40.
Yeah, he's going to catch the field, and he's going to have to slow her down. He's not going to have that same kind of momentum like he did last time.
Tate, Henderson, King, Eccles, and Nielsen will be your running order from inside out.
Nielsen still got to start behind everybody. 5 seconds behind the clock, 20 seconds.
He's way outside, so he'll have to scruff off a little speed coming out of that Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Tate on the inside, Henderson in 2, King in 3.
10 seconds.
Eccles in 4, Nielsen outside at 5. Here they come up the front stretch.
1.
Eccles is going to lead the boats across the start-finish line, but the speed is coming on the inside. Take a look at Andrew Tate.
It was a good start. They've ruled it legal. Here we come. 5 wide down here. Piston boat's going to get down here first, but it's Tate sitting in lane 1. Kevin, 5 wide.
And he is tight to the buoy while King has to go way outside to give room for Bert Henderson. So Andrew Tate with a near rooster tail lead as he leaves the exit pit.
Oh, Henderson is getting really slow. He got in some slop down there in turn number 2 and almost came off plane. He's back on it now, but he's behind everybody. It's Tate out in front. And a half a rooster tail lead now over Jimmy King as they come up the back stretch. Tate into the entrance pin for turn number 3. Wall of water off the skid pin. Rattlesnake Mountain in the background. Half a rooster tail lead now over Jimmy King. Bert Henderson fell all the way back, but he is now climbing back into this up the back stretch, ready to overtake Dustin Eccles as they get into turn number 4. Up the front stretch, Jimmy King's on the outside, and he's trailing by about 3 boat lengths. But look at Jimmy King put the throttle down. He may catch Tate up the front stretch.
It's a replay of what we saw in there first. Tate's going to get down here first again, but he's got about 3, maybe 3.5 boat lengths on Jimmy King, who doesn't want to let him go, Kevin.
Oh, and Andrew Tate bouncing around as he gets into turn 2, which won't give him as much speed as he exited, but he does have a little bit of gas. And here comes Jimmy King right at his rear view mirror on the right side down the back stretch.
Well, let's see if King can challenge him up the back stretch or if Tate's going to start to pull away.
By the way, Jimmy Nielsen is overtaking 3rd place on the back stretch on the outside.
Yep, Bert Henderson was able to pass Eccles and climb into 4th. And now Henderson is trying to challenge Nielsen for that 3rd position on the race course. Let's go back up to the top end of the course. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And a little bit wider turn, forcing King a little bit farther outside. Tate's going to have the lead, but King had a great run up on the top end of the course and has momentum. But Tate's really flying the boat across the Bosch Thermador blind start finish line. He's going to back off maybe a little bit, or King found some extra horsepower. King's hitting it hard down the front stretch, trying to get up with Tate.
Coming down here again, about 3.5 boat lengths. Michael, look up and check the flag. I think you've got the penalty marker flag flying up there.
We do.
Andrew Tate walking the spots is out of turn 1. Jimmy King right behind him within the rooster tail as they fly down the backstretch. And now right behind that, Bert Henderson and Jamie Nielsen. As much as deck to deck as they can be in 2 very different lanes, battling for 3rd.
So the penalty flag is out. It's the blue flag with the yellow stripe, and we also have the white flag out as the racers come to the top end of the course. Our race leader is Andrew Tate in the Delta Reel Track, the 1. Half a rooster tail back, Jimmy King on the outside. King is just won't go away. That piston-powered boat is really motoring. Jimmy King about 5 boat lengths back as they cross the start-finish line now, coming down the front stretch, and King's going to catch him again, but he's got a longer race course to travel.
Boy, he's got that piston wound up. If he can keep this momentum on a wide lane, he's still 3 boat lengths back.
Oh, boy, Jamie Nielsen is really flying it.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are...
Andrew Tate gets into the turn first. King right on his heels out of the backstretch. stretch. They go, Jimmy King, able to put his foot into it and starting to catch up to the one again.
Yeah, and watch this race for third place back here.
They are right next to each other when I look at them across.
Henderson on the inside, Nielsen on the outside in the 11.
And
that's an incredible race back there.
That's been proving the difference right now as Henderson has the better turns, but Jamie Nielsen has the better straightaway speed. So we'll see what wins out.
Andrew Tate on the inside, able to put a little bit more distance on Jimmy King through the top end corners, and comes off the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 to take the checkered flag in Heat 2B from El Pueblo Market. The Delta Real Track with Andrew Tate first place, Jimmy King, Miss Griggs Ace Hardware second place finish, but we still have a penalty to sort out.
And we remember
third place. Let's go back to Bert Henderson. Always put a little bit of distance in turns 3 and 4 on the J and D. Back at the News Radio 610 KONA studios, thanks to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 112. Visit IBEW. The new location, Interstate 82 and Clearwater in Kennewick. New location coming out to Horn Rapids soon.
I want to go backwards, if I could, Mike, to yesterday. And it's worth noting, I think, an incredibly active day yesterday. We had
very special area for special needs folks that want to come down and enjoy the races that the Rotary's been putting on, the Tri-City Sunrise Rotary, for years.
That's right. It's our 8th year, and we are providing a cool area. It's a perfect position where you can have viewing. There's misters, there's water. You have several of our Rotarians are right there to help people. Ideally, it's for people that are in wheelchairs and walkers and difficulty walking. We also have a shuttle service to help them to get from one space to another.
Awesome effort.
Right.
Well done, Terry.
Thank you.
And for people that want more information about that, how can they go about finding that?
All they have to do is call my number, 947-1106.
947-1106. Terry, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
That's right up near the Veterans Memorial, by the way. Excellent effort by the Tri-City Sunrise Rotary. All right, boats are heading out of the pits as we get ready for Heat 3A, presented by Par Lumber. In our lineup, the 1, Delta Real Track with Andrew Tate. The 6, Miss Home Street with Jimmy Shane. The 7, Boitano Homes, driver Bert Henderson. Jamie Nielsen in the 11, J&D's presents Reliable Diamond True. And the 99.9, Daryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance with Brian Perkins.
And 4 of those boats have left the dock. There goes the 11. He'll be the last one off the dock. Bert Henderson will be the first one here. Tire Factory turn 2, followed by Jimmy Shane. It looks like maybe the 1 will be behind him with the 99.9 right to his left. And Tom Thompson is still, I don't think, up on plane over in the dock. So
Jamie Nielsen.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he started up on a plane, then it fell back down. He's still got the candle lit. He'll be coming. He's all right. Come on, Jamie.
And I made that first mistake of the weekend. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Maybe he does have a problem. He is turning to the right.
He's heading back.
Boy, we saw this. You've been mentioning Tom Thompson. We saw this with Tom a year ago, if you remember, in one of the prelims.
Let's go to the top end of the course.
Yes.
Into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Jimmy Shane will be on the inside. Andrew Tate on the outside. As they come onto the front stretch, heading to the Bosch Thermador Appliances start-finish line on our News Radio 610 KONA broadcast. Brian Perkins onto the front stretch. He's way outside. Henderson just at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Boat parade is coming down the front stretch with Shane, Tate, Perkins, and Henderson. Countdown continues to the start of Par Lumber Heat 3A.
And the U11, Jamie Nielsen, definitely turning back towards the pit, so he will not be a part of this, it looks like.
3 minutes, Michael.
He's still got some time. If he can get up on plane and maybe get that thing going, he can take another hard.
He's got 2 minutes.
Who's going to make the first move across the infield?
Well, Andrew Tate. Look at those 2 guys right in front of you.
Oh, wow. That is a pretty sight. And that's going to be a sight I think we'll see. Those 2 within about a rooster tail of each other for most of this heat. This 1 and this 6. Now Andrew Tate flying up the backstretch. Maybe he's going to try to get out in front and dump over to lane 1.
Henderson found the rough water in tire factory turn 2.
He did, but I think he's also keeping it easy, trying to find where does he want to cross over. If he wants to cross over,
not yet.
It is
not yet.
It's not a great time to do it yet. No.
Oh, what's Shane doing?
No, they're all headed to the top end of the course. They're at Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3.
Shane just about dropped off plane up there. He's way behind. Remember that 2-minute mark?
Andrew Tate did the leapfrog and took lane number 1
did.
away.
Remember that 2-minute mark at the start-finish line? 2 minutes right now.
And Jimmy Nielsen is back, I believe, at the dock.
He is back at the dock. The crew is on board.
So a 4-boat Heat 3A from Par Lumber. Tate in lane 1, Shane in lane 2. Perkins is outside in lane number 4, so that could leave Henderson lane number 3 unless Perkins starts to slide over towards Shane. We'll see.
We've had a strobe warning on the home street and on Bert Henderson, and that was clearly at the top end of the course when Shane pretty much dropped off plane. It's 1:30, and
they're early.
Tate's down here early. That's my mark right there, and he's there at 1:22.
Look, he's going out wide, too.
But you watch him. Kevin, watch him. He's going to come right back to the inside lane.
He is. Oh, he's not going to give it up because he knows Jimmy Shane will try to take advantage of him. I'm trying to see the strobe light. I don't think that's blinking yet.
Nobody's born a legend.
It takes grit.
Drive.
Can't quite tell off the top of that boat.
It's so hard to see.
There goes Bert. He's coming across.
He's going to cut here, but it's not going to get him lane 1.
No, he was just behind everybody.
He just was behind. It's going to get him lane 3, maybe, unless Perkins dumps down. But no, he'll be on the outside of the 1 and the 6.
Yeah. 45 seconds, Michael.
So Tate in the Delta Reel track right now, exactly across from the Bosch Thermador start-finish line here in lane number 1. Jimmy Shane just crossed that score-up buoy on the backstretch in the home street, the 6.
30 seconds.
Perkins is up with Tate near the entrance pin to Freedom Equipment Rental, turn number 3. Henderson is starting to catch the field now, coming up from behind in that bright red boat, the Boitano Homes entry. Round the top end of the course.
15. About a 9-second run off that buoy.
And they are at exit pin Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Tate in lane number 1. Shane in lane number 2. Henderson's going to take 3. Perkins in lane number 4. It's a clean start. Perkins has some nice boat speed on the outside. You can see Jimmy Shane picking up speed in lane number 2.
But coming down here on the outside, it's going to be Bert Henderson going to get down here first flying the boat. Got about 2 boat lengths on Jimmy Shane, but Shane's inside of him, and then Tate's in there somewhere, Kevin.
And they're bouncing out of turn 2, and Shane comes up as tight as he can into lane 1. And heads down the backstretch with the lead. Tate on the inside, Henderson on the outside, battling for second.
Tate had a real bumpy ride coming through Agri-Service turn number 1 into Tire Factory turn number 2. Had to back off and throttle. That allowed Jimmy Shane to shot put out in front. Nice run for Jimmy Shane in lane number 2. Now we'll see with smooth water at the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3. If Andrew Tate can gain some ground on the inside lane on Jimmy Shane in lane number 2. Henderson's in 3rd, Perkins in 4th. Jimmy Shane holds on to the lead by about a half a rooster tail as they come down the front stretch. Tate's trying to gain on him, but Shane has some straightaway speed. This is a nice, solid race down the front stretch, but it's going to be Jimmy Shane, the race leader, and watch Henderson on the outside. He's got momentum.
Into lap number 2. We've been heard from the officials the start was illegal, so everybody's good. Tate hanging right with him, Kevin.
Absolutely. He has lane 1, but he's bouncing around inside of there off Shane. And Shane can just punch the throttle down the backstretch. He's got about a rooster tail and a half lead with Bert Henderson about 2 rooster tails behind the 1.
And Kevin, you mentioned it. The rough water might be inside. Tate's really having trouble getting through that bottom end of the course in lane number 1.
And Shane's pinning him in there, too. That's what we talked about before the start.
Yeah, you could tell. If you said 30 feet 1 inch is where Shane's going to be, I'd imagine he's about 30 feet 1 inch.
And I think Tate just went outside. Yeah,
you're right.
Well, if you remember back in Madison, the Tate, he was inside and he just got caught. And coming down to that lane with the Shane right there. So
Shane's going to take, Jimmy Shane in the home street's going to take over lane number 1. Tate in lane number 2. Henderson in lane number 3. The question is, can Henderson now catch Tate? Wow, look at Tate flying it down the front stretch. back and forth on responses.
Yeah, he's really got a lot of air underneath that U1 Delta rail track, and I'll tell you what, Bert Henderson's got him in his sights. I don't think he can run him down, but he's going to give it a go, Kevin.
They're out lane 3 and 4. Nobody is in lane 1. As Tate flying down the backstretch, Henderson going way out wide, struggling out there, and so Tate gonna fly the boat down the backstretch. Here comes Perkin on the inside.
Gonna say, keep an eye on Brian. He went to the inside.
That boat is barely touching the water in the front.
Jimmy Shane into turn number 3, top end of the course. Just a perfect run in 3A, brought to you by Par Lumber. Bounces a little bit wide at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Tate is just coming around 4 now. He's going to swing it way out wide in the Delta reel track, and he's back about 3 rooster tails now as the white flag is out for Jimmy Shane, and Shane backs off the throttle a little bit coming across the start-finish line as he had a lot of air underneath the boat. But there's no way Andrew Tate's going to catch him. It's Jimmy Shane's race to win in Heat 3A from Par Lumber.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Kevin, keep it. Keep an eye on our race for third, because they're going to get down here after Tate and Shane, and this first turn is going to be lumpy. Keep an eye on these two as Perkins flies the boat at the entrance buoy.
It's bumpy for the two that are with nobody around, and look what it's going to be for Perkins on the inside. He's going to take the lead for the third place race heading out of the exit pit. And Henderson going to try to gun it down the outside, down the back stretch. They are deck to deck down the back.
And Perkins with the lead coming up the back stretch for that third place finish. At the top end of the course, it's Jimmy Shane in the home street, the 6, into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and he's going to come extremely wide out of the exit pin in lane number 3. That forces Andrew Tate even farther out. He was outside in lane number 5, actually, as he'll take the checkered flag for Par Lumber Heat 3A. Jimmy Shane in the home street. Delta reel track will take second place across the Bosch Thermador appliance start finish line, and it's Brian Perkins holding on to third place down the front stretch. Perkins will take third place in the Payne West Darrell Strong Presents. Fourth place for Bert Henderson, Boitano Homes in 3A from Par Lumber.
What a run by Perkins.
Yeah, I know everybody's talking about Tate and Shane on that one, and for sure, but Brian Perkins just jamming that brand new boat in some really rough water down here in turn 1.
Designed to handle rocky trails and rough commutes. And with the CRF 250L Rally, you also get a larger fuel tank. Trucking, J. Michael Kelly. Graham Trucking American Dream, the 98 with Corey Peabody. It'll be Dustin Eccles in the Bucket List 440, and the 1918 Oberto Super Salami with Jeff Bernard. Tire Factory turn number 2, not a whole lot of wind, and we heard some of the drivers talking about the conditions out there, Kevin.
And Jimmy Sheen almost said it was like too calm with those rolls not really getting out. But we'll be interested to see J. Michael Kelly, who loves, as the 5-minute gun goes, the J. Michael Kelly, who loves lane 1. We saw what happened with Andrew Tate in lane 1. Does he still fight for it? I can't imagine he has any other gear, but will it pay off when he fights for it?
You know, the other thing we heard, and I thought was fascinating, was that Jimmy Shane felt that there wasn't as much current today that was kind of moving the bad water downstream.
Well, we have four boats away from the dock waiting on the 440 as J. Michael Kelly dumps into lane 1 to start us off at Tire Factory turn 2. The 1918 right behind him with Jeff Bernard and the Super Salami. Got a gorgeous paint scheme. And then the 3, there's the 440s away, 98 there. So we got all 5 boats on the course.
Well, I think, Brad Luce, that J. Michael Kelly is set up where he wants to be in the 12 Graham Trucking.
If he's sitting in lane 1, he's where he wants to be. His
exactly.
problem is my watch says 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So lots going to happen here. And I'm real interested to see how this heat plays out. This one could be a lot of fun. There's a lot of speed out there. Keep your eye on that 1918 and Jeff Bernard.
You know, the other thing we did not see, nobody in 3A from Par Lumber cut across the infield, and now immediately we get 2 boats coming across the ESCO Electric DMZ. And that's going to be Bernard along with King.
Interesting. Well, we know King's start procedure, and he says, I don't want to slow down that big Allison piston motor. He was got to keep it about 120 miles an hour, so he's definitely got a different start procedure from the rest of them. But he's going to come down here first with 3 minutes and 20 seconds until the start, and a big cheer goes up here on the sideline as everybody loves the Turbinator. Jimmy King to the entrance pin at 3:10, and over to Kevin.
And he is taking it kind of easy right now. He's not trying to get it as slow down as the 1918 and some of the other boats, but he's still not quite at full bore. 1918 will follow along in lane 1 right behind him, and the 12 cutting across the ESCO Electric infield. Not going to be able to get lane 1 out of it, though.
No, his good friend Jeff Bernard said, no, thank you. No, thank you. Those two have been teammates. Those two, if you had $1 for every heat they'd ever run together in every class, you'd be a wealthy individual.
Now, does Jimmy King cut across the infield again in the Turbinator?
I think he's too early. Except the way he does it, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
It's 2:30 right now.
440 coming off plane and dying right here in front of me in turn 2.
How far did he get off the course, Kevin?
He pushed it out pretty wide.
He did. He tried to get out as wide as he could. And the current might help him slightly keep him out there.
All right, Jimmy's found the gas pedal now as he comes down with 210. Remember our number there, Michael. And he's got his foot in it.
He does. So Jimmy King and the Turbinator across the Bosch Thermador start-finish line.
Getting a little air underneath him, too, coming across the start-finish.
And you've got cutting across the infield. Yeah, that's a really exciting move, and right into the wake is Corey Peabody.
King's across the infield too down here.
Came right up behind Jeff Bernard. And now he's going to slide outside of the Graham Trucking and J. Michael Kelly.
Those are about the closest 3 friends you could pull together and stick out there in the race course.
But here's Jimmy King cutting across the infield.
Yep.
Yeah, he wants to join the other 3, I think.
At a $120, 120. So I like where everybody sits. Bernard's in 1.
Now will Jimmy King cut across again?
He might do that.
Let's watch.
Let's watch.
Let's see. It's going to be tight if he does.
He can go now.
He does not.
Not going to do it.
No, he'll just stick himself into lane 3. So the 1918 will be in lane 1. The 12 will be in lane 2. I'd imagine the 3 ends up around lane 3, and the 98 will be out in lane 4. Dustin Eccles, unfortunately, getting a close-up view of the park over here on the Pasco side.
And Kevin, is he well off the course now?
He is well off the course. There is
so we don't need
space.
We don't need to worry about that. Okay.
43 seconds.
Boats are staged on the back stretch. It'll be the Super Salami, the 1918, with Jeff Bernard in lane number 1. Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly, the 12 in lane number 2. Jimmy King and the Griggs Presents Miss A's Hardware in lane number 3. And on the outside, Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody as they
20 seconds
to the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And they are on the front stretch. Jimmy King in lane number 3 is going to fall back a little bit. Looks like a clean start. It's going to be J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2 in the lead. Watch Bernard on the inside, King on the outside. Bernard's falling back in the Oberto a little bit. 2 boats heading into turn number 1 for Agri-Service.
Kelly's got to get down here first with about a 3-boat lead. Keep in mind, guys, the start is under review.
That will make things interesting. But the King and the U3 on the outside started to gain some ground on the 12 with J. Michael Kelly. Jeff Bernard in the 1918, a distant 3rd.
Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly with the lead by about half a rooster tail. You see Jimmy King on the outside, not really gaining ground up the backstretch. Nice run by the 1918, the Obordo Super Salami in 3rd place for Jeff Bernard, and Corey Peabody has fallen back in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. J. Michael Kelly at the exit pin now. And there comes Jimmy King in the 3, the Turbinator. Bernard in the Super Salami has fallen back. A couple of rooster tails now. It's a half a rooster tail lane for JMK in the Graham heading down the front stretch. Jimmy King in the Turbinator out on his right hip.
Solid boat ride for JMK, and he's got about half a rooster. We got a 1-minute penalty on J. Michael.
Oh no!
So this is Jimmy King's race to win if he can hold off the 1918. J. Mike a little bit outside of lane didn't need to.
Yeah, radio crews have probably told him that it is a 1-minute penalty on the 12 Graham Trucking. J. Michael Kelly.
He jumped the gun.
He was a little bit early at the start. It was extremely close. But the video review showed that he was over early. So J. Michael Kelly on the course is your race leader coming out of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Back about a rooster tail now is the 3 Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware with Jimmy King, both coming across the Bosch Thermador flying start finish line.
Kelly's flying it down here. He knows he's got the penalty, but he's still going to keep his foot in it. These things sometimes get reviewed, and he's packing an awful lot of air into the boat. Kevin, keep an eye on him.
He is walking the spots as he down bounces around on a turn 2. Flying on the inside. Not quite tight to the buoy line, but still lane 1. And the 3 coming up behind him, a couple rooster tails behind. 1918 coming out of turn 2 right now, too. He's also on the inside. Everybody's sort of getting in a little bit of a line between about lane 1 or lane 2.
So J. Michael Kelly, a little bit early at the start with a 1-minute penalty, now with a 2 rooster tail lead over Jimmy King in the Griggs presents Miss 8 Hardware coming into Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3. J. Michael Kelly now at the exit pin of our turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers.
So my wife got me this weird new kitchen knife as a Christmas gift. God, I love her.
He is the leader on the race course, but he was early at the start.
And it looks like everybody's kind of backed off a little bit on the speed, knowing that their positions are fairly well settled.
And white flag flies as Kelly flies. He's really got a lot of air underneath that race boat. He's still driving it hard. As he's to the entrance pin, he'll come down. But Kevin, let's follow our leader, and he's right in front of me right now. The Terminator, living up to its name.
Oh, the 12 bouncing entirely out of the water for a moment. Wonder if J. Michael Kelly going to try to see if he can get a minute ahead of Corey Peabody. See if he can get Corey Peabody to be a minute behind, and then he snags third. But it is Jimmy King flying down the backstretch, our leader.
Yep, he's trying to beat that 1-minute penalty by hitting it hard.
Yeah, I think as a Peabody doesn't have the same level of speed, so it takes him a little more than a minute to get around this course. So J. Michael Kelly, if he can get to about 3/4 of a lap lead, he might get that minute that he needs to be in front of Peabody.
Let me know when he crosses.
Wow, a lot of compression noise for J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking in the 12 coming across the start-finish line. Oh, the Terminator went off plane. It's going to be Bernard and the Super Salami moving into first place. Oh, what a tough break for Jimmy King in the Griggs Ace Hardware Terminator. The 3 dead in the water. So it's the 1918 with Jeff Bernard claiming the checkered flag. Wow, that is huge. And Corey Peabody is coming up the back stretch.
So he will be second. Here comes J. Michael Kelly coming up on him hard.
Yeah, it's depending on that minute penalty that JMK has to see where we finish on the clock.
40 seconds. Tell me when Corey crosses.
Corey Peabody's at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and JMK is going to try to put him a lap down coming up the front stretch. He's running an extra lap.
Tell me when he crosses.
Well, you got J. Michael Kelly crossing again, and now Corey Peabody now.
I got it at 58 seconds. What'd you get?
Oh, my goodness.
We got 2 of us with 58 seconds.
Oh,
he needed
2
to catch him
seconds.
to get over a minute.
We're going to have to wait till the officials write it up, but what a horrible turn of events for Jimmy King in the piston-powered boat.
5 boats in the water right now. We've got the 11, the 6, the 19, 18, the 12, and the 1. So if you're looking for good racing, just...
Lead him across the line. He's going to get down here first.
Look at Andrew Tate flying third deck to deck.
You know, if you can't find it in a rule book, you better not do it. And so they left it as it is. We're going to go 5 in 1A and 3, or 5 in the A and 3 in the B.
So let's set that lineup again in Heat 4A for Trust Company. The 1, Delta Real Track with Andrew Tate. Jimmy Shane in the 6, Miss Home Street. Jamie Nielsen in the 11 J&Ds presents Reliable Diamond Tool. J. Michael Kelly in the 12 Graham Trucking.
Mark, 5 minutes. They can come away from the dock. This may be one of those really good shots coming away in the late afternoon sun. It is going to be the 12. JMK is going to come out first. Right behind him is his good friend Jeff Bernard in the 1918 the Alberto Specialty Meats. Then it's Jimmy Shane in MS Home Street. Then it's Andrew Tate in the Delta Reel Track, and Jamie Nielsen rounds out our 5-boat field. They are all away from the dock, coming right over you, Kevin. They are gorgeous in this afternoon sun.
They are indeed. And Mike Kelly, the first one out, he's going to try to claim that inside lane. That's pretty much what you expect from JMK. Oh, the reflection off the red, the metallic red of the Alberto, so gorgeous, with Shane inside him. Now Andrew Tate swings his way up with Jamie Nielsen and the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange U11. 5 boats in the field, 5 boats up and running.
Nicely done, Kevin, on those colors. I like it.
Carnival Orange, I love it. Hey, a quick message from Carol Dent from the Buffalo Brothers. Carol?
Hey, I just like it. A big shout out to the Water Follies crew, all the volunteers, the radio guys, everybody from Kona, all the safety boats, the boat racers themselves. You guys do a fabulous job. If I've forgotten anybody, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Carol, from the Buffalo Brothers. Up at turn number 4, the best race fans anywhere on the hydroplane racing circuit. And if you have a chance, go meet them up there. All right, coming across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line. Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly on the inside. Then you've got Tate in the Delta Reel Track. Shane is coming across start-finish line now. The Alberto with Jeff Bernard. The boat paraded all the way back out of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 is the 11 with Jamie Nielsen.
3 minutes. There goes Jimmy.
Jimmy is. Shane cutting across.
Oh, I thought Bernard was going to follow in the Alberto, but he didn't.
Nope. So Shane will get over and be in lane 1, which pushes Kelly out to lane 2 for now. And Tate out to lane 3, but lots of milling period left.
240, 240.
Who's going to jump next?
My money's on the 12. But
yeah, watch Mike now. Remember, don't want to be at start-finish line at 2 or 2:30.
So Jimmy Shane is just about ready to enter Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3. And I don't think J. Michael Kelly's going to turn to the infield. Yep. J. Michael Kelly's going to jump across to the front stretch.
Yep. I think he's okay time-wise.
Throw the Esco Electric infield to the front stretch, and that will put Jimmy Shane outside in lane number 2, at least for now.
Whoa, whoa, what happened with the 1 over there?
Whoa, did he clip the buoy?
They are, wow.
That was, holy smoke. Now, that was Bernard coming across.
Was that the 1918?
Yeah, it was Bernard that came across. He came across behind JMK.
Couldn't see him from our vantage point.
Oh, boy, somebody better stick their ear to the radio on that one. They're down here at 1:35. You know my mark. You don't want to be here at 1:30. They're here at 1:30.
There was a disagreement there about.
Yeah, and Kevin, keep an eye on Jimmy. Well, I thought Jimmy was going to go way, way, way wide and scruff off some time. He may still do that. Watch him, Kevin.
He is. He's slowing. There he goes, way wide.
Yep.
There, the big wide turn, because he doesn't have any challenge from the inside in Andrew Tate, and he'll be able to come in and be at lane 3 for right now.
5 seconds to the 1.
But boy,
Now, what's Jimmy Shane doing now? He's gone back inside.
He's kind of trailing in behind them.
Mike, during this heat, keep an eye on that buoy that was nudged.
And there goes Shane. Nope. Okay, no, it's
45 seconds.
He kind of looked like he might thought about cutting across, but
no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, he can't do that.
Much too early.
Well, you've got to go around every buoy from the entrance pin to the corner. Coming up on 25 seconds.
So the 1918 Alberto Super Salami Jeff Bernard in lane number 1. Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly, the 12 and 2. As they come up into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
10 seconds.
Jimmy Shane, lane number 3, is hanging back a little bit. Lane number 4 is going to be Andrew Tate, and lane number 5 will be the 11 with Jamie Nielsen.
2, 1.
White flag is out, and it's a clean start. It's going to be J. Michael Kelly leading, but the boat speed's on the outside with Shane and Andrew Tate.
Look at this 4-boat run to the corner, and there's a couple of them really flying, but it's the 12, and JMK is going to get down here first, but he's got speed on the inside with Bernard.
Oh, but Kelly will be first out of the exit pin. He's got Shane to his outside, Tate beyond that. There will be the 12 that leads him down the backstretch, but Shane right on his right hip going down there.
You can see the blue cowling right behind the bright red Graham Trucking cowling coming up the backstretch. It is a dead heat. Falling back a little bit, Andrew Tate is in 3rd place. J. Michael Kelly on the inside. On the outside, it's Jimmy Shane, and they are deck to deck heading into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. Coming out of the exit pin of turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers, J. Michael Kelly's going to have the lead by about 3 boat lengths as they come on the front stretch. And now watch Jimmy Shane put the pedal down, but J. Michael Kelly's holding him off as they cross the start-finish line. A lot of air underneath JMK in the Graham Trucking 12.
Man, he is flying in the boat. There's a lot of air into that 12, and when they get down here to the entrance pin, it is dead even.
Oh, he is flying. That front of that boat is coming up really high off the water, but it will be Kelly first out of the turn, but Shane going to take the lead, I think, with a little bit more boat speed down the straightaway. Tate in 3rd, the 1918 run in 4th.
J. Michael Kelly is not giving up on the inside, even though Jimmy Shane's right outside it, just pulling ahead as they come up the back stretch, getting ready to dive into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. An amazing race. J. Michael Kelly on the inside, Jimmy Shane on the outside in the home street. Shorter course around, and it should be a little bit of a lead. Now J. Michael Kelly falls back a little bit in Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Jimmy Shane holds on to the lead as they come down the front stretch to the Bosch Thermador Applied start-finish line. It's Jimmy Shane by 3 boat lengths at the start-finish line coming down the front stretch. Tate is in 3rd, Bernard is in 4th, Nielsen in 5th.
Wow, are these guys really moving? You're going to get a great look at them, Kevin. You could got a better view than I.
Boy, Kelly fighting his way on the inside. The shorter course going to help him. But Jimmy Shane, so much speed in that turn. He's going to fly down the backstretch with about a 3 or 4 boat length lead. Tate maybe backed off a little bit to let these two fight it out first.
J. Michael Kelly got a little bit loose as he was coming up the backstretch, had to back off a little bit. He had a beautiful turn in Tire Factory turn number 2, and he's lost a little boat speed on that backstretch, and Jimmy Shane's extended the lead to a few boat lengths as they come up into turn number 3. Big hop for Jimmy Shane on the outside in lane number 2 in the home street as they come at the exit pin. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 back onto the front stretch. Jimmy Shane is leading by 4 boat lengths as we get to the start-finish line now. The white flag is out for Heat 4A for Truss Company. Jimmy Shane is leading by 5 boat lengths heading down the front stretch.
Now, once again, I'm going to give it to you, Kevin, because you can see Kelly on the inside.
I can, and he is just right now not quite the speed that the 6 has. And so Jimmy Shane going to extend his lead to almost a full rooster tail down the backstretch. JMK right behind.
And JMK sloughed off a lot of speed in Agri-Service turn number 1 into Tire Factory turn number 2 and had no way to keep up with Jimmy Shane and the massive boat speed that he had in lane number 2. A little bit fresher water on the outside. Coming into the final turns, checkered flag is out. Jimmy Shane in the 6th, the home street on the outside with the lead by a full rooster tail coming out of the exit pin of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. J. Michael Kelly swings out a little bit wide at the exit pin and almost got into the slop of Jimmy Shane, but was able to hold that lane just in time before he hit the wake. So the checkered flag out for Jimmy Shane in the 6th, Miss Home Street. Another heat victory in what has been a perfect run so far at Water Follies Hapo Columbia Cup. 2nd place for J. Michael Kelly in the 12 Graham Trucking. Delta Real Track with Andrew Tate. Did not really provide any kind of resistance in that heat. Ends up in 3rd. 4th place for Jeff Bernard in the Oberto. And we don't have any flags out for any type of review here. And I haven't heard anything from any of the officials, Brad, about any possible situation in the race before the race.
No, and I have an official up there with me, and they said there was some conversation about it, but no call has been made or anything said. But That is as hard as anybody has pushed Jimmy Shane, but I'll tell you what, Michael Kelly had to really fly the 12 to run with. There was so much air under that hydroplane. We're going to go down and talk to some exhausted drivers in just a moment.
Jamie Nielsen, who just finished with a GP victory, ends up in 5th place in the 11 J&D's presents Reliable Diamond Tool. So lane position on the inside for J. Michael Kelly in the 12 Graham Trucking, but Kevin, that wouldn't be enough to hold off Jimmy Shane in the 6 Home Street.
And that's really, I think J. Mike knows.
Here is Michael McDonald.
And Farmers Exchange, Brown to Carolee, the Gravely zero-turn riding mowers, high-end residential and commercial units with Kawasaki engine, 100 years strong, built to mow the distance. Gravely with a 3-year warranty available at Farmers Exchange. Also thanks to Brunsman's Office Solutions, the leader in innovative office design, along with CIA Krigler Insurance. Rich Krigler, former farmers agent, now Krigler CIA Insurance in Richland. He'd like to have his old clients check rates with him now, probably save you a great deal of money. Wallowa County Chamber and the Wallowa Lake Tramway is waiting for you in Oregon's most rugged outdoor area, Northeast Oregon. Awesome fishing, ride the tramway to the Summit Grill on Mount Howard. Plan your trip at WallowaCountyChamber.com. Let's go down to the Neil F. Lamson pits. Heat 4B from Trust Company.
4 minutes and 30 seconds to Heat 4B. Last chance for points. Kevin? 1, 2, 3, right in front of you.
They are all right in front of me, and the really interesting thing about this particular heat is that right now you could literally almost throw a blanket over all 3 of these in the points standings as we sit right now. In 5th place is Bert Henderson. He's got 619 points. Just 35 points behind him is the 98 in the Graham Trucking of Corey Peabody. And just 21 points behind him is the 99.9 in the Brian Perkins.
Well, just imagine if we get all 3 to finish, they're going to have a boatload of points.
So what's going to end up happening here is that the winner of this race and the 2nd place finisher of this race will be on to the final in the front row. The 3rd place boat in this race will be your trailer. So that is where we sit as we get ready for Heat 3 or Heat 4B.
Awesome job. Points recap brought to you by Perfection Miller Paint. Just off Steptoe in Kennewick. Perfection Miller Paint. All right, so across the start-finish line is the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody. Coming out of the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. You got Perkins, and then just about to the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line is Bert Henderson in the 7 Boitano Homes. A reminder for all swimmers both sides of the river, we need you out of the water and on the shore. All swimmers need to be out of the water and on the shore. Go over to Tire Factory turn number 2. Kevin, you've got a couple of boats coming to you, but they're going to cut across the Esco Electric infield. Are both of them coming? Yes, they are.
They are indeed. The 7 with the Boitano Homes and Bert Henderson, followed closely by the 99.9 Brian Perkins. Both trying to, I think, claim lane 1.
Well, look at Esco Electric infield. Also an incursion by the 98. Corey Peabody came backstretch to front stretch.
Yeah, he did the front stretch to backstretch cut too last time. So they are, they know what's at stake to this particular heat, and none of them want to be the trailer boat. So they are all going to be, this is going to be all out, high intensity racing.
2 minutes and 10 seconds, guys, 2:10.
There goes the 98 again.
Oh, Perkins is coming across through the Esco Electric infield.
I think you'll see the 98 cut one more time on that other end down there, trying to get a little more in line with the other 2 boats.
I think he's just liking the 1 3/4 course better.
He just wants to run GP courses, the 5-liter GP courses.
Boy, they got to watch some strobe lights here.
You're right, Brad. You know, Henderson is moving pretty slow. Perkins is looking even slower coming down the front stretch.
Well, when he cut across, he was pretty darn close to you at 2 minutes, and that's unofficial. It's just something I use. And, well, it's 1:30 now, and he's still got another couple hundred yards. So maybe they're okay. He's going to get to the entrance pin of this quarter in lane 1 at 1:23.
Oh, Henderson's cutting.
There goes that. Oh, boy. Now, what's that going to do to him? Going to have to watch his blinker when we head up the backstretch. Kevin, they're right in front of you.
They are. Henderson will be able to take lane 1, but how does he scrub off speed if he's early?
That's really slow. The red boat is really slow.
Well, Kevin gave us the points here, and clearly first and second place is worth fighting for.
Yeah, there is barely a rooster tail coming off of that 7 down the backstretch.
But you can't afford a penalty either, Brad.
No, you can't, and I don't have my official radio up here.
All right, so...
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And we have not heard of a strobe warning.
Good.
40 seconds, 40 seconds.
And you mentioned that because there's a GPS tracker on board. If they go below 80, the strobe light goes off and drivers are notified to pick it back up. They get 1 warning.
They've been told all to pick it up.
Well,
I guess if they all get a 1-minute penalty,
that's a level.
Good point, Brian. Doesn't it? Good, Brian.
Just becomes a 5-lap heat. 20 seconds.
Henderson, the 7 on the inside. Perkins is in lane number 2 in the 99.9, and then on the outside you'll have the 98 Graham truck 10 with Corey Peabody. They're just at the exit pin, and the Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 onto the front stretch. The Bosch Thermador flight start finish line. Neck to neck. It is a clean start, and it's going to be Perkins leading, challenging him outside. Peabody in the 98.
Peabody's coming out here with quite a bit of speed, but he's now starting to get a little bit of ground. We're going to be dead even at the entrance pin. Henderson in 1, Perkins in 2.
But Henderson has the short course and a little bit of smooth water furthed down in turn number 2, and he's able to take the lead as they fly down the backstretch. But Perkins starting to gain on him as he gets right on the right hip of the 7.
Yeah, Peabody's fading back about a rooster tail behind the leaders right now, and it's Perkins behind by about a boat length coming up the backstretch. Henderson into Agri-Service turn 1 and Tire Factory turn number 2, and perfect water, Kevin, just like you mentioned. It was really nice water for him to get around smoothly. Into turn number 3, Freedom Equipment Rentals, and now to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Henderson in the 7 on the inside has the lead, and he's pushing out in the lane number 2. He came out a little bit wide, forcing Perkins out even wider. Perkins is back about 5 boat lengths as they come up to the start-finish line. So Henderson with the lead. Perkins is trying to gain on him, and he is kind of reeling him in coming down the front stretch. Perkins with a beautiful run into Agri-Service turn number 1.
And Perkins has got a lot of air in his brand new hydroplane. He lifted it up a little bit higher than he wanted to. He's back about 5 boat lengths, Kevin.
But Henderson again with the short course, and he's going to take every foot of that 30. And Perkins gets washed down a little bit, has to back off, and now it's about a rooster tail lead for the 7. I'll be interested to see if there's any kind of lane violations. That was close.
You know, we saw that at the top end of the course as Henderson was moving out a little bit wide, sliding out a little bit wide. Green flag remains out on the course. And Henderson into turn number 3. Freedom Equipment Rentals over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 with a half rooster tail lead. And he's on the inside. And he's going to be hugging the buoy line a little bit closer this time at the exit pin of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. Now we'll see if Perkins can start to eat away at Henderson's lead in the 7 Boitano Homes. Across the start-finish line now, and Perkins across now. Perkins is trying, and he's gaining a little bit of ground, but he's going to have a tough time with the inside lane and the 7 with Boitano Homes and Bert Henderson in that lane number 1.
Yeah, he's got pretty much a rooster tail coming to you, Kevin.
He does, and we heard Jimmy Shane talk in the last meet about using the rooster tail as a way to deter the vehicles or the boats behind you. I think Henderson has been trying to use that tool. That's now about a rooster tail and a half lead as they go down the backstretch. Here comes the 98 around. Now he's still battling, hoping there's a mistake somewhere in front of him.
Fastest lap so far is lap number 2 for Henderson in the 7, 144.736 miles per hour, and he's got that inside lane, and he is pulled away by a rooster tail and about a quarter as they come into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Henderson at the exit pin, and now Perkins comes to the exit pin. It'll come down the front stretch with a white flag out in Heat 4B, brought to you by Trust Company here at Water Follies Apple Columbia Cup. One more lap to go for Bert Henderson in the 7, and he was packing some air underneath that boat.
Yeah, he really is. They both are. They've been flying, both of them, pretty high. I think Brian Perkins understands Kevin's math over there, that a second-place finish, the way they've got it calculated, will put him on the front row of the final. Let Bert go. Let's fight this thing later on this afternoon. Kevin, right to you.
Yeah, Bert was beautiful through that turn, too. The water a little bit rough for Perkins. Not quite as smooth, but, boy, what a great turn. And it's going to be Henderson's race to lose. With Perkins up the backstretch, the 98, Corey Peabody now.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned that. We've seen, well, for example, the 3, final turn, final lap, have a problem. We go dead in the water. So at the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3, wall of water off the skid pin. Here comes Bert Henderson in the Boitano Home 7 to the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4, and he'll come down the front stretch for the checkered flag. Heat 4B from Trust Company. Checkered flags out for Bert Henderson. And the 7 gets 400 big points with that victory across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line on News Radio 610 KONA at 610KONA.com. Perkins backs off the throttle, and he'll bring it in for a second-place finish. And third place for Corey Peabody in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. So the inside lane, a little bit of smoother water in the first couple of laps for Bert Henderson proved to be the difference, but Perkins did not give up through those 2.5 laps, did he?
No, he really didn't. Fighting it. And I think he probably just got the message. All right, we ran with him. I wanted to see if I could catch him again. And let him go, pick up his second place. Big 300 points.
And looking at the speeds, and the top speed again, it was actually lap number 3 for the 7 at Bert Henderson, just over 142 miles per hour. Water conditions couldn't be much better with the wind laying down, Kevin Rounce, entire factory turn number 2.
It really has. It is much calmer.
3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes from the start. And I say it every year, it's the same thing, but you got to see it to believe it. All this color is going to come away from the dock. JMK is going to come first. Then it is going to be Bert Henderson. Down at the far end, the next boat is going to be Brian Perkins. Then it is Jimmy Shane. They're kind of coming out a couple at a time here, so not as a group. And interesting as we've seen it before, guess who's just sitting at the dock?
Andrew Tate.
That would be the Tater. He's just sitting at the dock. He hasn't even tried to fire it up. Seen it many, many times before. Let everybody go out and start fighting for things. Kevin, gotta look good. A lot of color right here.
Oh, it is gorgeous. The 2 red boats have gone by. Now we get the Home Street Blue boat. Plus the red, white, blue, Graham Trucking American Dream, followed by the 99.9 Perkins, who's having to try to maneuver his way through some wake. And then the green, white, and red Oberto is now getting up to Tire Factory turn 2, still looking at Andrew Tate at the dock.
And Brad, we should touch on the success of the new Home Street hull that debuted here a year ago just for testing. That's just kind of run roughshod through the H1 fleet ever since it came out on the Columbia River. Just a test.
And here comes Andrew.
Tate is up and on plane.
And again, just like he did last year, he just comes right up the dock row and hasn't even turned right. Now he does to come over and say hello to Kevin.
He is taking a hard right to get up right on the buoy line.
He sure is, as everybody else is coming down behind him at 3 minutes and 15 seconds to the start.
JMK in 1, Shane in 2, at least for now. Bert Henderson's on the outside as they head to Agri-Service turn number 1.
The interesting thing will now be about what is the timing. That Tate has to get his timing now.
Cutting across the ESCO Electric infield.
Yep, that'll be Jeff Bernard coming across the infield.
In the bright Oberto Super Salami, the 1918 to the front stretch. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate is on a slow trip down the back stretch.
And let's see who, if anybody, cuts across from back to front.
240.
It's a bit early to do that, but
you could do a double cut.
You could try to, well, then you really get, I think, behind the A-ball if you do the double cut.
Well, and if you do a double cut, you pretty much have to do a triple cut because you'd have to go, no, seriously, you'd have to come to the front, then you'd have to go back to the backstretch, and then you don't have time to go all the way around. You'd have to do it again.
Yeah.
So 220.
Well, it's going to be Jeff Bernard that's going to cut across.
Watch that 2-minute mark at the start-finish line, 2:15.
And J. Michael Kelly's going to follow. They have jumped through the ESCO electric infield.
All right, so it's what is your mark, Brad, down to turn 130?
You don't want to be down here at 130, and it's 204 right
so
now.
Bernard in 1, J. Michael Kelly in 2, Tate in 3. Where's that going to leave Shane and the rest of the group? They're just coming out of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
Didn't we talk about Shane? Brad said, Shane, if they want to have a shot at him, get him out to lane 4.
Oh, look at this maneuver coming down the front straightaway. Who is that? The third boat coming down. Is that Tater?
It's Tate.
That's Tate. He just made a great big S-curve right in the middle to scruff off some time because they are just about to this buoy at 135.
Yep, he did it on the backstretch too when there was nobody around him. So right now,
130 right now, they hit the buoy.
You got Bernard to the inside, Kelly next to him on lane 2.
Watch their speed.
The one and Tate in lane 3. Will anybody cut across?
Nope. They're all coming down.
They're all the way down.
So it looks like the first 3 lanes have been claimed.
Yeah, look at how slow they're going, though. Watch the speed warnings.
Strobe lights. I'm trying to keep an eye on that.
4, 3.
And look at Andrew Tate's going back and forth like a NASCAR driver warming up his tires.
He's just trying to scrub off time.
He is.
We got a couple of two pairs of boats coming up after them with looks like the 99.9 with Brian Perkins. I see Bert Henderson there.
Yeah, Shane's going to settle in lane number 4 outside of Tate. Tate's still doing that S-curve out there back and forth, trying to save itself some time and keep up to speed. Perkins outside of Shane, then you got Henderson. Inside, Jeff Bernard, the Super Salami, has lane number 1. We haven't heard any radio chatter about any possible speed problems, at least for now. It's the Hapo Columbia Cup finale, and our special thanks to our title coverage from Farmers Exchange on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. 10 seconds. They come off turn number 4, Buffalo Brothers. On the inside, Bernard. Andrew Tate, Jimmy Shane, Perkins, and Henderson. And on the inside, it's going to be J. Michael Kelly with the lead coming down the front stretch. Henderson with low speed on the outside.
but at least he's on the inside now. He's got the short course.
He has a chance to take over third place coming up the back stretch, up to the top end of the course, the west end. And at the end of the course, it's going to be J. Michael Kelly still with a half rooster tail lead. Andrew as they come across the start-finish line now and down the front stretch. I don't know that Tate's going to be able to catch up. A bit of driving out there, and that was not easy water to run in. J. Michael Kelly able to come down that front stretch on lap number 1 as we started the race in lap number 1, and in lane number 2 he was able to get around Bernard in the Oberto, and he had clear sailing from then on out. Perkins across the start finish line, and also Corey Peabody in the 98 Graham Trucking across the start finish line. So everybody gets points, everybody started, everybody finished, and that was one heck of a final race for the Hapo Columbia Cup. A1 pit reporters.
5 boats in the water right now. We've got the 11, the 6, the 19.
The new location on up.
This is one of the great moments in the Columbia Cup each year. The noses are starting to tip out toward the center of the river. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. 5 minutes from the start. And I say it every year, it's the same thing. We are 10 seconds away from the 5-minute mark. We'll have boats on the water. Seafair, Seattle.
Across the line. He's going to get down here first.
Look at Andrew Tate flying third deck to deck.
How can fans get more from their car rental?
By cash backing.
Cash backing.
It's time to upgrade your tire inflator. It's not an option, but a necessity. Here's why.
Mark.
That's your 5-minute gun. Now it's time to go boat racing. Here's who will be racing in Heat 1A, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Seafair thanks Home Street Boat, proud sponsor of the Home Street Bank Cup. To start Heat 1A is just a few minutes away. Seafair reminds you that all for your safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course. Now it's time to go out on the water. Get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. Heat 1A, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Now to call Heat 1A is Brad Luce and Nate Brown.
Thank you very much, Kay. As you'll see, all the boats are up and running. They're away from the dock. It's really great to see the 11 out there. Got on a plane. Their fuel control issues hopefully will subside for this heat.
And Nate, we are 3 minutes and 45 seconds to the start, 3:45. Now, for those of you who have not seen this before, our start procedure is a little unique. That's one of the special features of unlimited hydroplane racing. You got a bit of a taste of it with our E350 class, but it is all on a clock start. And we're 3 minutes and 30 seconds away from that start. Our drivers can cut the race course from the front to the back at the lower end of the race course. Thank you, J. Michael Kelly, for giving a perfect example of how you can cut the race course. You can cut the race course from the back stretch to the front stretch up at the north end or the top end of the race course. So this is what we call the milling period, Nate Brown. What are these drivers trying to do?
They're trying to see where they're on the course. They're looking at their timing marks they have, if they're in the right spot at the right time. They also are relying on their radio guys to tell them where the other guys are on the course too as well, because if you turn too soon, you kind of leave that lane open for another guy to be able to snap it from you. So what you want to do is you're trying to do the best you can to do your strategy you had beforehand, but that can be taken away from you. So good drivers, all these guys have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different strategies all in their pocket in case something happens.
In other words, the best laid plans sometimes go awry. Let's take one more look at the boats that'll be here in our Heat 1A, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. The U11 J&Ds, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. That is the bright chartreuse and carnival orange hydroplane. Halfway up the backstretch, it is driven by Jamie Nielsen. The all-white boat that is just now exiting the lower corner and starting up the backstretch, Delta Reel Track. Boat number 1, defending Seafair champion. That is Andrew Tate, who just cut the race course. That is J. Michael Kelly, and he put himself on the inside of Andrew Tate. That's a little bit of the maneuvering we see in the milling period. Nate, that's what you were talking about.
Both those guys were smashing the gas or trying to get up to that 2 straightaway buoy thing, because J. Michael Kelly did not have a lane established until he passes 2 straightaway buoys. So the first buoy he passed, Andrew Tate could have dove right down in front of him. I mean, literally right in front of him, but he didn't need to because JMK had the throttle smashed and he got past the 2 straightaway buoys to establish that lane.
Great example there of cutting the race course to get lane position. Our 4th boat and rounding out our field is coming down to the lower corner. Right now it is the all-red U7 Boitano Homes, driven by Bert Henderson out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. Nielsen, Tate, Kelly, and Henderson. Minute 20. Minute 20. I don't know if you want to be down here as early as JMK is in the black and red boat, because the other part of the procedure, Nate, you cannot drop below 80 miles an hour. And if they do, they will get a warning from the referees. If they drop below 80, again, it is a penalty. So you can't get up to the top end of the course too early, and we got 2 of them up there bright and early, Nate.
I think they'll make it, but it's going to be tight. They're not going to have a flying start.
50 seconds to the start. So now we'll have to keep an eye on things to see if Henderson is inside Nielsen right now, and I think they are sitting in lanes 1 and 2. And if that's the case, Kelly, the 3rd boat going up the backstretch with 35 seconds, Kelly will be in 3, and that would put Andrew Tate on the far outside. We've had a warning on Bert Henderson and a warning on Jamie Nielsen, the first two boats up there, and that is a speed warning. They've got to pick it up. One more warning, and it's not a warning, it's a penalty. Coming up on 15 seconds. 15 seconds to the start off the top end of the course, and it's going to be Henderson in 1. It's going to be Kelly in 2. It's going to be Tate 3 and Nielsen on the outside. We're 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And exactly what you said, Nate Brown. There was no speed out there for Bert Henderson in lane 1. Nice start for Nielsen on the outside. It is a good start. It's clean. 4 of them down to the corner. Now we'll see who gets out of that first turn first. Gonna be J. Michael Kelly. And you can see the rooster tail on the outside. That's gonna be Andrew Tate. You've got 3 of them there that are running very close together up the backstretch. Nate, they're running right into that stiff breeze, and they're feeling it.
They're flying that wing. You can see it on the monitor here, but they're really flying that wing. Great boat race right now.
And you see Bert Henderson is back in 4th place. That's because he didn't bring any speed to the start-finish line. Remember, we're going to go 3 times around. J. Michael Kelly.
Oh, looks like somebody got wet.
Oh, and that is Andrew Tate. He got wet coming out of that corner up there, and it's cost him some speed. Now it's J. Michael Kelly with 1 in the book and 2 more to go. Kelly's got about a rooster tail on the field. Kelly down to the corner first, and the Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. But what a race for second place. Nielsen had fuel flow problems. Seems to have them ironed out. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate still has got ideas about going after Kelly. But Nate Brown, he better keep an eye on his right side rear view mirror. He's got company in Jamie Nielsen.
No, he sure does. He's got a radio guy right there telling him the same thing, going push it, push it, push it, push it, because he's right there ready to grab any mistake. Like that last lap where he got wet. I don't know if J. Michael pushed out or he kind of got caught in the spray, but either way, it slowed him down a bunch. But it's a great boat race. Spread it out a little bit right now.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording?
And we do have from the officials a 1-minute warning on the boat in 4th place, the 7, Bert Henderson. It was an 80-mile-an-hour warning, and he got the penalty for doing it twice. That's what can happen when you get up there too early. Kelly down here on lap number 3. This is the final lap. We go 3 times around. Andrew Tate has recovered from taking that bath at the top end of the race course on lap number 1. And now it looks like Jamie Nielsen has said, all right, I'll take my 3rd place points and I'll come home in 3rd. But right now looking really strong. J. Michael Kelly, Nate, looking good up the backstretch.
Yeah, he smashed the gas. It looks great, and I got to hand it to the 11 team, too. They're right in there as well, and he's settling back right now, saving the equipment, but he knows what he's got for a boat now. He knows what he has. Now he can go race his part.
Absolutely. He's coming off the top end of the race course. J. Michael Kelly's going to swing out a little bit wide. He will look to his right and to his left. He will see the checkered flag in any form of motorsports racing. That is the goal, is a checkered flag. J. Michael Kelly flies. The U12 Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing, home with a first place finish unofficially in our Heat 1A. Andrew Tate will come home in 2nd place, driving the 1, the Delta Reel Track. And as you said, Nate, great news for Jamie Nielsen driving the 11, the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Hopefully the fuel flow issue is in the rearview mirror. A solid 3rd place finish. Bert will come home in 4th with a 1-minute penalty for that double start finish line, because the boats still have to go through tech inspection. So, as Mr. Kelly waves to some of the fans, and right below us and to our
1 mark. 5-minute gun. Green flag on the course.
Time to go boat racing. Here's who will be racing in Heat 1B, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Seafair thanks Home Street Bank, proud sponsor of the Home Street Bank Cup. Start of Heat 1B is in a few minutes away. Seafair reminds that for you and the safety around you, the friends around you, you must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course. Now it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. Heat 1B, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. We're here to call the race will be Brad Luce and Nate Brown.
Thank you very much, Kay Brewer. Looking at the clock, we are 3 minutes and 45 seconds to the start. 3:45, now 3:42. To the start of our Heat 1B, it is sponsored and presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Let's quickly take a look again at the boats in this heat. The U98, the Graham Trucking American Dream, driven by Corey Peabody. It is red, white, and blue. And Corey, I know, came away from the dock. I see him. He's up at the top end of the race course, coming off of the floating bridge turn. Going to be joined in this one by the U1918, the Oberto Super Salami, driven by Jeff Bernard. That's the boat that's right at the entrance pin of the corner right now. And on his right side, and right in his right side rear view mirror, U6, the Miss Home Street, Jimmy Shane. He's our top qualifier. And rounding out our four-boat field, the U99.9 Carstar powered Miss Rock KISW with Brian Perkins coming across start-finish line right now. And the guy who is running around the pit area from one end to the other, Nate, you made it back.
I did, Brad. It's the stairs. I'm going to count them next time, but
there's two more the next time you go up.
Yeah, this is great cardio for me. I tell you, my age is wonderful. Wore-out boat racer climbing stairs.
Your cardiologist will be very happy with you. Tomorrow morning, you'll be happy to see 5 more stairs on each flight. We're 2 minutes and 30 seconds to the start.
See everything from miles away with this powerful U.S. Special Forces device. This new military monocular is based.
That looks like a 7 on there, but pretend it's a 2. We thought we got a countdown to 5 to the 5, and it was a countdown to 5. So we were a little tardy on our start. We had some mix-up on the official clock. But we're 2 minutes and 14 seconds away from the start. The situation is the same as before. Idea is to put your boat at the start-finish line with open water and a full head of steam right when the clock ticks 0. Don't get across that line too early. You get a 1-minute penalty. If you're a couple of seconds late or don't have boat speed, you're going to trail everybody into the first turn. And that's what these timing marks, Nate, are all about.
That's exactly right. These guys are out there jockeying right now. You saw Jeff he had to hit his mark, so he squirted right through in front of the other boat and went right around the corner.
Corey's going to have to go too, because they were going to get down here with a minute 30, and they're just not going to be able to scruff off that much time without dropping below 80 miles an hour. Now, here comes, yes.
They both got a warning too already. The 1918 and the 98 both got a warning. So they were probably going too slow coming down and trying to hit that mark.
So they've got to be careful. That's great. Good call. They've got to be careful now and make sure they stay above 80 miles an hour. Should not be a problem from where they are right now, because there's a minute 15 to the start, and Jeff is just now coming across start-finish line. And entering the lower corner down here is Brian Perkins in the 99.9 as we come up on the 1 minute mark with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. 1 minute. 1 minute to the start of our Heat 1B, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Up the backstretch, and he is sitting in lane number 1, Nate, is Brian Perkins in that brand new 99.9 Carstar powered Miss Rock.
He's a smidgy early. It's going to be tough for him to stay 80 and get a good squirt to the start. Jimmy, on the other hand, is really in a good spot right now.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to come up behind him. That's Jimmy Shane driving the powder blue and white Home Street Bank. The Miss Home Street, lane 3, is going to go to Jeff Bernard. We've got a warning on the 99.9. So now everybody's had a warning with the exception of Jimmy Shane, but I think they're in a position now. Of course, the 99.9 Perkins, he's got to be careful as he's getting deep into that corner, although the rest of the field is starting to catch up on him now. Coming up on 15 seconds to the start. It's about a 9-second run off of that top end of the race course to the start-finish line. So they are a little early. We are inside 10 seconds, and now we're up on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. And it looks like a clean start, and Jeff Bernard in the 1918 going to get down here first. The start is under review, which means the officials are going to take a look at it. On my watch and my angle, it looked pretty good. Jimmy Shane in lane number 1. Look how important that lane position is as Bernard took the lead into the corner, but that inside lane, Nate, paying dividends for Jimmy Shane.
The closer in, the less time to pace around the course, but I didn't think it was a good start. It looked like a couple of guys were either right on it or a little bit over it, so it'll be interesting to see what they come back with.
All right, top end of the race course, we got a good 2-boat duel. The 2 boats that are owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana, are very close together at the top end of the race course. There's Shane, there's Bernard. It's the Oberto on the outside. Oberto Super Salami and Jeff Bernard trying to run down his buddy Jimmy Shane, and doing it on the outside is a tall, tall order, because it is Shane with about 3, maybe 4 boat lengths on Bernard to the entrance pin of the corner. All Jimmy Shane. Got a good race going out front. We've got a good race going for 3rd place. Keep an eye on that one. Hey, you got a good boat race going.
I tell you what, I mean, Corey Peabody is doing great to stay up with the 99.9 like that. He's doing awesome. And so is Jeff Bernard. I'm really happy to see two teammates actually going deck to deck out there and pushing it. You wouldn't think that would normally happen, but I think these guys are teammates, but they're going for it on the course.
I think they are racing for two very separate and distinct sponsors, and the sponsor says go, and they are going. So we're at the top end of the race course on the second of 3 times around. Shane to the exit pin of the corner up there. Still got his right side rear view mirror full of Jeff Bernard. But look at this race coming for third. You talk about Peabody doing a good job. He's driving a great big race course. He's running about lap number 4 versus Perkins, who's on the inside 1. Yet look at Mr. Peabody.
That's doing a great job staying in clean water, because it doesn't always mean inside. If he goes closer right now, he's going to get in the spray and get in the trough. He's got to hold tight to that third lane right now to get this one.
You have much better eyes than I do, Nate Brown, because we've just got it official. They have come down with a ruling on the start. The 1918, which is Jeff Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami, and the U98 Corey Peabody, they both jumped the start. Yep. So they're going to get a 1-minute penalty. Wow, what that does for Mr. Perkins. He just now gets elevated up to second place. Clearly, Jeff Bernard got the message. He has pulled his foot. Perkins is going to go by him anyway, but here comes the winner of our Heat 1B, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking, Jimmy Shane. Miss Homestreet will come home in first. Then Jeff Bernard's going to come across, but he's got a 1-minute penalty. Hidden in the spray on the inside is his good old friend, Brian Perkins, driving the CarStar-powered Miss Rock. Fourth place will go to Corey Peabody in the Graham Trucking American Dream.
The time to enroll in a Medicare plan is now. Review your current plan or explore new options, like a Humana MAPD.
1, mark.
That's your 5-minute gun. Now it's time to go boat racing. Here's who will be racing in Heat 2A, presented for Seafair by Anheuser-Busch. Seafair thanks Home Street Bank, proud sponsor of the Home Street Bank Cup. The start of Heat 2A is just a few minutes away. Seafair reminds you that for your safety and the safety of the ones around you, everyone must be out of the water. Here's the hydros on the Ted Jones race course. Now it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. Heat 2A, presented for Seafair by Anheuser-Busch.
Thank you very much, Kay Brewer. It's Heat 2A, as you said, presented by Anheuser-Busch. Nate Brown, you have been here before when you wake up race day morning and you find you've drawn all the hot dogs together.
That's okay. You're driving across the bridge where I used to live. I drive across that floating bridge and look out at the race course and go, wow, this is really cool. And look at these guys right now. This start game has already started. These guys are already trying to figure out where the other guys are, what move they can make. See, Andrew just cut the course, and Jimmy's going around the course. So they're trying to separate themselves. You don't want to be next to the other boat. So Jimmy's doing his own deal. Andrew's doing his own deal. Corey's doing his own deal right now. So is J. Michael Kelly.
JMK at the top of the course. I thought it was interesting. They went up the backstretch, and Andrew Tate cut the course from the back to the front, came down, cut it again, just as he was doing in the test session. He was running that big circle out there. So looking at the clock, Nate, we're 3 minutes and 5 seconds away from the start. If you're going to win a heat with this kind of competition, it's going to require an inside lane. Now look at this. Here comes Jimmy Shane across the race course. The exact same thing that Tate did to him the last time around. And now Jimmy Shane has got himself inside Andrew Tate. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, but watch this. Andrew Tate's going to go behind him probably and cut the course again. There's plenty of time to do that. Let's see if he does it. And he is not going to do it. He's going to sneak up alongside.
Yeah, a lot of games still to be played, because you said those guys don't want to be close together. Well, now they're tied together, and they're coming right up on J. Michael Kelly at 2:30. 2:30 to the start. Now we'll see how they line up coming up the backstretch there. I believe JMK will sit in 1. And look how close. Oh, we're looking at a monitor here. I'm not sure they didn't touch. And what it looks like is happening, it looks like Tate is trying to pin Jimmy. up against J. Michael Kelly and not give him a lane. And now look what's happened to it's exactly what happened. He was trying to pin him and not let Jimmy Shane come up between boats. That got close. You may have to run down there and see if we got a little paint that got swapped on that one, Nate.
Yeah, I don't know about paint, but right now that lane looked like it was taken away from our vantage point, from my vantage point. That should have been an infraction, but whether or not it is or not, it'll be the official's call.
So coming off the top end of the race course now with 1:43 until the start. The boat that I think that was clean and all that would have been the U12, the Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing, and they're coming down with 1:30. I would expect nobody's going to cut the course now because it's going to take them 1:30 to get all the way around this course and come back to start-finish line. So I think the lanes they're sitting in now are the ones that are going to stand. It is J. Michael Kelly sitting in lane 1. It is Andrew Tate sitting in 2. I'm going to assume Jimmy Shane will come up and assume lane number 3 with Corey Peabody on the outside. Timing marks critical. 1:10 at the entrance pin to this corner. That should be okay from a timing standpoint. Kelly in 1, Tate in 2, Shane in 3, Peabody on the outside, Nate 57 seconds.
They all made it. Good score up. Now they got to sit there and time their mark to get a fly-in start. Jimmy Shane's holding back a little bit just to get his marks correct because the only way he can compete on this thing now is to have a fly-in start in lane 3. Those two boats inside of him are fast, and he's got to be that much faster in lane 3.
40 seconds until the start. Remember, fans, we go 3 times around this 2-mile Ted Jones race course. Come later this afternoon in the winner-take-all final, we'll go 5 times around. But right now it's 3, and we're inside 30 seconds. The boats are holding those lanes. Kelly in 1, Tate in 2, Shane is in 3, and on the outside, Corey Peabody. Now top end of the race course. It's about a 9-second run off the exit pin of that buoy down to start-finish line. They are a little. We're at 13-12, and they are coming off the corner. They will fan out. Now it's all about that timing mark. We are 6 and 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. It is a good start. And oh, did Jimmy Shane bring a lot of boat speed from lane 3. Just exactly like you talked about, Nate. He's got a lot of boat speed, but he's on the outside. Shane has got the lead coming off the corner. That is Kelly on the inside. Between boats is Andrew Tate, the Delta Reel Track. Delta Reel Track, Andrew Tate is running down a hallway, Nate.
His paybacks are always what they call a bummer because right now he's got overlap on Tate, and I guarantee you he is taking that lane at this corner. He's not going to come down on JMK, but he's going to come down on...
Holy cow, is Jimmy Shane showing an awful lot of boat speed. He brought a ton of it to the start-finish line at the beginning of the heat, and there he starts to tighten it up on Andrew, just exactly what you said, Nate. I think the lane is still there, but right now it doesn't make any difference. Jimmy Shane is running away and hiding. He's got a rooster tail and maybe a half on JMK in second place. Tate is about a half to 3/4 of a rooster tail behind JMK, and he's going to have to run a pretty wide race course to get around Mike, but that's what he's going to try and do. Off the corner, Jimmy Shane is flying, Nate.
He's got a rocket on his hands right now. I know he's out there going, you know what? They put me in lane 3. I'm going to show them I can win from lane 3. So right now he's getting in their head again.
Yeah, this is what we had talked about earlier today. You want to talk about sending a message. Holy smoke, is he sending one now? I've got it, and I've got it on the outside, and I drove around all of you. Here we come off the top end of the race course. Jimmy Shane's going to come down on the U6, this home street. He looks to his right, looks to his left. He sees a white flag. That means 1 more lap to go. Fly in the boat, but his radio guys are telling him now, just find some clean water and bring it home sunny side up because you got everybody covered. Second place, J. Michael Kelly, and he has opened up a little bit of water on Andrew. That's going to be a tall order for Andrew to run away on the outside, Nate.
Still a great race, though. You look at the spacing between these boats between second and third. If the lane position was switched the other way around, Andrew would be in front of JMK. Corey Peabody, I'm really impressed with that team. These guys are on the same lap. He's running his own program. He's keeping it together, making a start, making a finish. At the same time, Jimmy Kane's rocketing through that corner, coming down for a checkered flag.
And I don't think Tate's going to have enough real estate, but he's closed up a little bit on JMK. Meanwhile, here comes our leader. Checkered flag flies Jimmy Shane at the home street bank from his home street.
White flag.
That looked checkered. That looked checkered to me. He comes out way wide for a photo opportunity now. Here comes J. Michael Kelly. He had to keep the hammer down, make sure he kept Tate in the right side rear view mirror, which he did. Second place to the Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. The third place boat, the Delta Reel Track U1, Andrew Tate. our winner, apparent winner on the water, unofficial until they go through tech inspection, the U1, the Miss Home Street, Jimmy Shane out of Maple Valley, Washington. And here comes Corey Peabody, the young man out of Kent, driving the U98 Graham Trucking. He will come home in 4th place. Nate, 4 started, 4 finished.
That's
Introducing Connect IND, the new interactive online portal designed for Indiana's entrepreneurs.
Burberry Hero, the new fragrance for men.
That's your 5-minute gun. Now it's time to go boat racing. Here's who will be racing in Heat 2B, presented to Seafair by Cathay Pacific. Seafair thanks Home Street Bank, proud sponsor of the Home Street Bank Cup. To start Heat 2B in just a few minutes away, Seafair reminds you that for your safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones course. Now it's time to get out on the water and watch the world's fastest race boats, Heat 2B, presented for Seafair by Cathay Pacific.
Thank you very much, Kay Brewer. We are 3 minutes and 55 seconds, 3:55 to the start of our Heat 2B. It's the 2019 Home Street Bank Cup. This particular heat presented by Cathay Pacific. Nate Brown, Bert Henderson, Jamie Nielsen, Perkins, and Jeff Bernard. Who do you like?
Boy, right now I like the little duel going on up here up the front stretch. These guys are really close together for scoring procedures.
You talk about a couple of guys who have known each other since they were knee-high to you and I. Jeff Bernard, who just cut the race course there, and that's Brian Perkins, going to come all the way down in the Carstar-powered Miss Rock. He will go to the bottom end of the race course. Jeff Bernard will cruise up the backstretch. Meanwhile, the predominantly red boat coming down the front straightaway here on the outside is Bert Henderson from Brockville, Ontario, Canada. And just behind him and to his left on the inside, Jamie Nielsen. And you know, I just love to say this, the Chartreuse of Carnival Orange, U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. I say keep an eye on Mr. Nielsen in this one.
I think all these guys, you know, all these boats are so close together in qualifying speeds, so close together in testing speeds. This heat, of all the heats, get out of your chairs, come to the water's edge, watch this one. It's going to be a Donnybrook. It's a little bit slower than the guys we saw before, but the racing is going to be deck to deck and exciting.
That's 3 cuts in a row for Jeff Bernard. He's been on the outside of Brian Perkins, and then Brian got on the inside of him, and now he's reversed it. So Jeff's going to go back to the inside, keep Brian on the outside. Lots of stuff going on here, and still lots of time, Nate. 2:20 till the start.
Yeah, these guys down in the North Kern, they're almost in the right spot if they stay in that spot. The other guys are going to have to cut the course here. I think if Perkins should cut the course in here and try to grab an inside lane if he wants it.
I think you want to be down here at the entrance bend of this corner after 1 minute 10 seconds. Been watching these guys. The last heat, the guys got down here about 1 minute 5, and they all seem to have pretty good runs to the line. So if it plays out that way, if Jamie Nielsen can back it off here a little bit.
They should have been going slow coming off the exit pin, like I was saying, because right now he's too early.
He's going to get down here. It's still 1 minute 40 until the start. See if they want to try it.
He can't go below 80. This is not a 5-liter. He can't park and start this thing. He's got to go 80.
And he can't cut it now, so to put a loop in. So see if he doesn't go, and there he goes. He's going way wide, just like he did yesterday, but he's going to take Bert with him because they're both in the same boat, no pun intended, but they've got to go way deep in the corner to try and knock off some time. You got to like it 1 minute 15 where Jeff and Brian sit. That's Jeff Bernard on the inside, the 1918, the Alberto Super Salami. And then it is the 99.9 Carstar powered Miss Rock with Brian Perkins right behind him. 1 minute, Nate.
1 minute right now.
Yeah, those guys are crawling going up the backstretch.
Yeah, I don't know how. You know, honestly, Jeff Bernard is sitting in a good spot. He's going to be able to get a flying start lane 3, and these guys are going to be just left with an anchor out.
Same thing that happened to them yesterday, and Jamie Nielsen went all the way up to the floating bridge. Now that's a pun because he can't go that far, but he went all the way up against the outside course markers to burn clock, and he's going to have to do it again. Coming up on 30 seconds until the start. These guys are going to have to get these marks squared away. You gotta like the positioning of Jeff Bernard in lane 1. from a lane standpoint, but you've also got to like it from a timing standpoint. They're still early, though, Nate. It's just now inside 20 seconds. We're down to 15 to the start. Now they'll come off the top end of the course and square up and come down. In lane number 1, it's going to be Jeff Bernard. Then it's going to be Henderson in 2. It's going to be Perkins in 3. And on the outside, Nielsen 2 seconds, 1 second. Mark, and we are racing here in our Heat 2B, presented by Cathay Pacific. The referee has said the start was good. So down in the lower corner, we'll see who gets in and out first. Got to get in and out clean. That's the first thing. First boat to turn the corner, Jeff Bernard, lane number 1, 1918. Alberto Specialty Meat Company, the Super Salami, has got the lead, but look at the speed on the outside. That is Nielsen that is on the outside. It is also Perkins. Nate, they are tightly bunched up the backstretch.
Oh, yeah, and Bert's driving in a hole right now. He's going to get to this corner. It's going to get really white.
Why get someone one big gift when you can get them a bunch of mini gifts? Like these little Reese's. Look, they're already wrapped. So convenient. All you have to do is put them under the tree. Or stuff them in a stocking.
Top end of the race course. And look at Jamie Nielsen on the outside in the 11. J&D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. And he's going to come down almost dead even with Jeff. Jeff flying the boat on the inside. But look at the speed we're seeing out of Jamie Nielsen. Really got that chartreuse at Carnival Orange. He actually, Nate, he's got the lead at the entrance bed.
He does. He's got to squeeze it down now to get it. He's got plenty of overlap on Perkins, so bring it on down, Jamie.
And there he is, and what happened to Jeff? He's going down. Jeff has lost power in the 1918, and he's going dead in the water, and oh my goodness, now it is all Jamie Nielsen. What a tough break for Jeff Bernard. In the 1918 Alberto Super Salami, he is dead in the water. Nate, it's one thing to not win the heat, but it's another to get no points when you don't finish.
Boy, yesterday when he jumped the gun, now with no points this time. I mean, he is not in a good position right now for points. But look at Jamie Nielsen. He was rocking and rolling in lane 5. I know these guys are running a different engine. The fuel control started, and they're really happy. This is their strong motor with a real temperamental fuel control. So this was a good win for these guys. Or so far. It's white flag lap right now.
He is on his final lap. And this is the team that struggled mightily in the Tri-Cities. They struggled here yesterday, and this has got to feel real good if he can bring it home. Oh, Scott and Shannon Rainey, they are crossing their fingers, their toes, and everything they got. Could he come home with 400 points here in our Heat 2B presented by Cathay Pacific?
This would be the first heat win for this gentleman in an unlimited private plane, and it would also be the first win for this team, and really a great race for Jamie. I know he needs this. But look at Perkins. I mean, he's within virtually a tail and a half of this. And it's a brand new boat. I knew they had some issues with it too as well. And they're doing a great job.
This is awesome. I am so happy for that race team and for Jamie Nielsen. He comes down, check flag flies. U11 J&D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Nielsen with 400 points, second place. Brian Perkins in the 99.9. Carstar powered Miss Rock, a brand new boat a week ago on Friday. And a man from Canada, Brookville, Ontario, Canada, Bert Henderson, will come home third in the Boitano Homes. Gotta feel bad for Jeff Bernard, dead in the water in the lower corner, no points. There's somebody else I'm really happy for this weekend. It is Nate Brown, because you get to go down there and talk to a very happy Jamie Nielsen. That was my way of reminding you, Nate. You
forgot again. Yeah, I was just
mic was open, and I think even if your mic was off, we would have been able to hear that. That was awesome. An awfully, awfully happy Jamie Nielsen. He got the call 2 weeks ago to become the driver of that beautiful hydroplane. They struggled, as I mentioned, mightily in the Tri-Cities a week ago, and then to come here on race day morning in their first heat, get paired up with some stiff competition, and walk away with apparently what's going to be a first-place finish and 400 big points, because, Kay, it's all about points.
It is all about the points, and they want to collect as many points because they have to have, we don't
Okay, guys,
go.
Hey, I got Perkins right here in front of me. Hey, nice run, man. I mean, this is a new boat. You're working it out. You're really respectable. You're right in the rooster tails with these guys.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can for the Carstar 99.9 rock boat, and you know, it's running really good. You know, We just need some more horsepower to run with the J&D's guys. Jamie just did just an awesome job. Hats off to him. Those guys really deserve it. But yeah, we're getting better. Hopefully we'll be up there at the final.
It's great to see KSW still in this thing. This was the sponsor for my first ride back in 1991. So I got a little bit of history with this thing too as well. It's really great. So thank you very much and keep up the good work.
My pleasure. It's an honor to drive for the Rock Boat. It's like you say, it's got a following here in Seattle, and proud to be a part of it.
All right, back up to you.
Nate, I've got about 3 minutes. I'm right up against an air show, so if you can get Jamie quickly.
I'm right behind him right now.
All right. I'm literally staring down a 2-minute window here.
Hey, Nate, I see that you've got Jamie's wife right next.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
That's your 5-minute gun. Now it's time to go boat racing. Here's who will be racing in Heat 3A, presented for Seafair by Alberto Specialty Heat Meats. Seafair thanks Home Street Bank, proud sponsor of the Home Street Bank Cup. The start of Heat 3A is just a few minutes away. Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water while the hydros are on the Ted Jones racecourse. Now, it's time to get out on the water and enjoy the world's fastest hydroplanes. 3A, presented for Seafair by Alberto Specialty Meats.
Thank you very much, Kay Brewer. Looking at the clock, you're right on time. 4 minutes to the start of Heat 3A, presented to Seafair by Alberto Specialty Meats. We've gone down the list a couple of times. Let's do it again. Let's start with U1, Delta Real Track. The driver, Andrew Tate, the predominantly white boat. It is just coming off the exit buoy of the corner on the south end of the race course and starting up the backstretch. It is trimmed in fluorescent orange and yellow. And the driver, Andrew Tate from Walled Lake, Michigan. Entering the south turn right now, the predominantly blue boat, trimmed in white, the Miss Home Street. It is U6. It is owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana. The driver, Jimmy Shane from Maple Valley, Washington. He is about a third of the way up the backstretch. From Bonnie Lake, Washington, J. Michael Kelly. He will sit behind the wheel of the all-red U12. Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. The all-red boat is trimmed in black and silver, and he is coming down the front straightaway. Just made a move to the left a little bit, I think, to get into lane 1. It almost looked like he had a notion of cutting the race course, and that would have been an illegal maneuver from where he was, because you've got to cut the front to back down here at the lower end of the course. I doubt that was the case. He's going to come all the way down. Rounding out our field from Kent, Washington, Corey Peabody, driving the U98, the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream. That boat is red, white, and blue. Where's Corey? Corey's about halfway up the backstretch right now in front of the log boom. So Peabody, Kelly, Shane, and Tate. Here we go again, Nate. See if we can keep them from bumping each other this time.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. I don't see what's going on a whole lot here, except that Jimmy just kind of popped on the inside of Andrew, and see what happens coming up here. Is he going to get taken away again?
Yeah, well, when he popped into that inside lane, the boat leaped out of the water on him. He had the nose about 5 or 6 feet out of the water, and now he's losing some power there. He might get a warning there. We'll monitor the radio. He dropped way down, Nate.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit like that before you get a warning. He did just fine on that one. He's just getting a mark. The corners, these skid fins leave. If you look out there, if you're on the beach here, see the white caps in the corners? Those are all created by the skid fins. So they're just huge. They're like 1.5 foot deep rollers.
1:42 until the start, so we'll look for these guys to come off the top end of the race course and come right down the front straightaway. I think we're seeing J. Michael Kelly do some of that back and forth that we've seen him do here last year, and a lot of the guys have been doing on the race course. Saw Andrew Tate doing a lot of it last week, just going from an inside lane to an outside lane just to scruff off time, because they're going to get down here at 1:20.
Yeah, no shenanigans this time. They're all kind of settling in. And you're going to have Jimmy Shane in lane 1. You're going to have J. Michael Kelly in lane 2, Andrew Tate in lane 3, and Corey Peabody in lane 4.
Yep, and Andrew's going to hang back here. He is going to do as Kay Brewer was pointing out. He's going to try and hang behind everybody and get a rolling start to come down here to start finish line, which will happen in 56 seconds. We're inside 1 minute to the start of Heat 3A presented by Oberto Specialty Meats. So up the backstretch, once again, J. Michael Kelly driving the 12. The Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. He's in 1. Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street is in 2. It looks like Peabody is on the far outside, and Andrew is going to park in lane number 3 and have a lot of real estate to work with, Nate.
He's going to do the same thing. He's going to try to get a roll and start on the outside and do what Jimmy Shane did the first heat. So you can tell right now the other guys are just a smidgy early, and they're not going to be a full head of steam. And Andrew, unfortunately, kind of crept up there a little bit early, I think. He could have held back a little bit.
Driving around, Jimmy Shane would be a tall order.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you...
15 seconds until the start. Now we're inside that. They square up and come down. It is Kelly in 1, Shane in 2, Tater in 3, and Peabody on the outside. We're 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Mark. They are across the start-finish line. Jimmy Shane again got the jump on the field. The start has been ruled good by the official. Now we'll see if he gets dividends. He beat J. Michael Kelly on the inside, but there was a lot of boat speed in that powder blue Miss Home Street, and you see he's got about a 2-boat length lead on J. Michael Kelly. They get to the exit pin and start down the backstretch. This looks like a rerun of Heat 2A. Jimmy Shane just flying around the backstretch. He is driving away from JMK, and on the outside, buried in the rooster tail, is Andrew Tate. Nate, he looks really hot.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Jimmy Shane just took a really rough corner down there, but everything's okay. He lost some ground, and JMK is going to sneak up a little bit on the inside, but yeah, Jimmy Shane took a hop there. He's flying that thing, though. Look at him coming up.
Coming down here to put one in the books. And Shane, yes, if he had a problem, he has got it figured back out. But now the race is going to be for second and third, because look at Andrew Tate on the far outside. Tate is going to pull up with a couple of boat lengths at JMK. Again, it's just like 2A, Nate, because Andrew's got to drive a huge race course where JMK's sitting in lane 1.
Yep, JMK's is some slop, and Andrew's going to be out in some smooth water. And if he hangs in there and that finds a smooth lane out there fairly close to that roller, he's going to be able to beat JMK. He's got to hold it in as high as he can. There you look at him. He's pulling in front right now.
He just flew by him up the backstretch, but now they get him to the top end of the course. JMK is able to stay tight on the buoy row, but Andrew Tate's got better water, but he's on the far outside. Meanwhile, Jimmy Shane comes off the top end of the race course. He will come down. He will get the white flag, meaning 1 more to go. It's been a perfect weekend so far for Jimmy Shane, but look at our race for second place. Second place now clearly belongs to Andrew Tate in the U1, the Delta Real Track.
We got something come apart on.
Yeah.
The cowling is hanging up on his wing.
It is. The cowling has come off of the U12, and there's no cover over the engine. That's why it looks very low profile, but that cowling is hanging on the horizontal stabilizer.
He's got the inner cowling hanging on the horizontal stabilizer. All he's got to do is whip it around this corner. I know his crew was going, come on, hang in there. Do not lose that intermediate cowling, because you got to build another one if you don't have it.
So he can take it easy and come home in third place and take his 225 third place points. He will be in great shape to make it into the final. Meanwhile, our leader, and he has dominated this set of boats in 2 back-to-back heats in 2A, this time in 3A, presented by Oberto Specialty Meats. Jimmy Shane driving to Miss Home Street, the U6, a dominant victory here, and he has sent a message. I can beat you guys on the outside. Give me an inside lane, I can handle that too. His timing marks are right on. And it's Andrew Tate. He comes down and will pick up a second place. JMK, exactly as our Nate Brown said, they want him to just limp it back, and that is what he is doing. And it looks like he's going to bring the parts back.
I don't know how he still has that cowling on there, but like you said, and you want to get the team wants that thing in there. You can see them anxiously out here on the dock waiting for Jamie Michael Kelly to bring it in. And it brings new meaning to this. Jimmy Shane won.
Enter for your chance to win a stunning Ferrero Rocher pyramid and cash prizes.
Boat number 11, J&D, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool and Jamie Nielsen. The U99.9 CarStar powered Miss Rock KISW Brian Perkins.
He's got a minute and a half to put himself in a position for that inside lane. I could just going to say he's going to better get on that throttle, and he is.
Here he comes. Now we'll see if he doesn't cut the course and say, you know, Jamie has showed me something, and there he goes.
He's got to cut the course because Jamie was down here. He had set himself up. If he didn't, he'd be behind Jamie, and Jamie could control the course. Now he's in front of Jamie. He just has to pass 2 straightaway buoys to establish that lane, and then now he can control Jamie.
I was a little bit surprised there to see Brian Perkins come all the way down. He's still fine on time at 2:23, but he's going to have to run a little harder than the rest of the guys. Where's Bert? Top end of the race course. He just cut the course. He's going to come down across start finish. Look for Bert to cut the race course from front to back. He can do so down at this end of the race course. See if he doesn't choose to make a left-hand turn about now. Bert, make me look good, will you? Not going to happen. There he goes.
Yep. He'd have to.
2 minutes. 2 minutes to the start. Heat 3B of the 2019 Home Street Bank Cup presented by Graham Trucking. There's already been a warning, Nate Brown, on Jeff Bernard in the U19-18. They've told him to pick it up.
Boy, that's unfortunate.
He cannot do it again. He cannot afford a penalty here. He flat needs 400 points.
They got 35 seconds to burn before that score-up buoy, and I think they'll be okay, but they can't drop below 80.
Got to keep it up. He looks to be in pretty good shape right now. I would think they want to be down to this buoy down here at about 1:10 or after. Brian might be a little early because it's 1:19 right now. And here comes Jamie and Jeff. That's Jeff on the inside at 1:14. I think they'll be okay, but boy, Jeff's got to be careful here. So we're 7 seconds away from the 1 minute mark. We're 3, 2, 1, mark. 1 minute. 1 minute to Heat 3Bs presented to Seafair by Graham Trucking. Henderson, Nielsen, Perkins, Bernard.
Brian's way early.
Yep.
I mean, he's I don't know how he's going to do that with 45 seconds left in that part of the course.
If they'd show us on a monitor, we could see if maybe he doesn't decide to just go way wide and scruff off some time, because there's still 35 seconds until the start. He is right now sitting on an inside lane, and he's still sitting there.
He's going slow.
He's committed now. He's going to have to stay there. 25 seconds, and he is on the inside lane. Coming up behind him is the balance of the field. Bernard's going to be in 2. Nielsen's going to be in 3. And it's going to be Bert Henderson on the outside. We've got another warning now on the 99.9. And not surprising at that, he's crawling up the start-finish line. We are inside 10 seconds, and we are now down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark.
Bert had a head of steam. Unfortunately, both accelerate so fast. The start is under review, though, so we'll see what's going to happen there. It's going to be close. It did look close.
4 boats haul into the lower corner down there. It was Bert with a lot of boat speed on the outside, but now you see the advantage of being on an inside lane. You see the sun reflecting off that bright green of the Oh Boy Oberto running down the backstretch. That's the Oberto Super Salami. But look at Jamie Nielsen again. He is way out in lane number 3, but he is hauling up the backstretch, Nate.
He sure is. He's in that tail. He come off this north corner. You'll see him. But look at Brian Perkins holding his own on the inside lane there, too.
Yeah, we're going to have a great race here for second place if it holds up. Nielsen with a great run in Heat 2B. He got a first place finish. The start has been ruled good. So the way they're running on the water is the way they are officially after the start. Bernard opened up almost a rooster tail. And now your second place boat, Jamie Nielsen. But he's doing it on the far outside. He's driving the daylights out of it, Nate. Got his hands full with Brian on that inside lane.
He sure does. He's got to keep him in the mirror. He knows he's right there. And Jamie, he's got to push hard. He's got to pedal that thing as fast as he can because he needs second place points here. And that's at Donnybrook for second and third. Look at that. They're deck to deck going up that log boom stretch.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is all about in H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. Hook a couple of boats up side by side, and it's one of the better visuals you will get in all of sports. Jeff Bernard with a big lead, top end. He's got still a full rooster tail. And I'll tell you what, it is Perkins on the inside second place, but he's going to start running through some sloppy water. Nielsen's running a bigger course, but he can go outside and have some better water, Nate.
He sure can, but, you know, Perkins' boat for such a brand new boat is handling that rough water pretty good. They're still deck to deck coming up the front stretch. If you look through that tail, there they are. There's not a hair between them.
Boy, they are really running, and Bernard's got it. He's got boats in his left side mirror. He's got a boat in his right side mirror. This is the checkered flag lap. Nielsen's got to get those second place points. Perkins doing everything. And look at Brian pull up on Jeff Bernard.
That was a
whale of a corner. Holy
that corner, do it again, and it's going to be there because Jamie's got a little bit of tough go now.
And Nielsen is flying. This is going to be quite a finish here as they're going to come down. It's our Heat 3B.
Oh, look at Jamie. He's right out in front of him now. He's really rocketing.
This is going to be a great finish to Heat 3B presented by Graham Trucking. Going to be a drag race off the top end of the race course. They square up and come down. Looking for the checkered flag. I think Bernard's going to get it, but the second place is going to go to Jamie Nielsen. Nielsen on the outside is going to get second place. And third place is going to go to Brian Perkins in the 99.9. Holy smoke, CarStar powered Miss Rock KISW. That's the best that new boat has run. Holy cow, that was fun. And Bernard got out front to kind of look like maybe that part of the race was over.
Not at all. That was a great race. And, you know, I just realized, and Kay reminded me, I had to get down there in the dock. But that was an excited one to watch. And I'm excited up here in the tower. I think all the fans were excited up and down the beach, too, as well.
Wow. Nate, that was awesome. And fans here, I'm assuming you like that one. That's what H1 Unlimited Racing is like at its best. You don't have to have the boats side by side out front. As long as you just get a couple of boats hooked up and they start throwing that water in the air on a beautiful Lake Washington.
Starting with a blank page can be overwhelming. Grammarly gives you a head start. Simply type a prompt to
how many volunteers there are within Seafair. You're looking at me. Barnhart Crane and Rigging, DBA Magnum, Barnhart Crane helping us here, especially in the pit area, lift our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes and 5 liters and everybody else into and out of the water. Home Street Bank. Cannot say enough about those people, and certainly the fine people that are here. They've got customers here. They have their hospitality area. I just mentioned we had Mark Mason, the Chief Executive Officer, up here. Can't thank Home Street Bank enough, and Seafair would like to formally thank them because Home Street Bank was born in Seattle, and for nearly 100 years, we've been your neighbor and a passionate supporter of local communities. From sponsoring special events like the Home Street Bank Cup at Seafair on this Seafair weekend to nurturing basic needs, investing in our local culture has always been part of Home Street Bank's DNA. Home Street Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. A heartfelt thanks from Seafair to Home Street Bank. Coming up on 8 minutes or 3 minutes to the 5.
I'd like to take this opportunity, if I can, to thank, I know it's a little bit selfish here, but my employer, Angel of the Winds Casino, who has enabled me to be able to be here for a few days here, and last weekend in Tri-Cities, they're trying to get involved in the sport. We've got most of the boats here in the final heat have got Angel of the Winds stickers on it, and we have a big expansion opening up here in a few days, so I really appreciate that company, and we even have a concert with Toby Keith playing at the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett. If you're looking for $25 tickets for that, just pump online to angelofthewinds.com and it'll send you to the link to get those $25 tickets. So again, thank you very much to Angel of the Winds Casino. We really appreciate everything. So Brad, this is going to be some big time stuff out here, bud.
Yeah, let's take a look at our boats that are going to come out and compete in the 2019 Home Street Bank Cup at Seafair. Our first boat, number 1, it's the Delta Reel Track, driven by Andrew Tate. He's 4th in points, coming in with 905. Andrew Tate. Our second boat in our final heat, the Miss Home Street, Jimmy Shane. He's tops in points. He's got 1,300. He's the boat to beat. The U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Jamie Nielsen up. He is our third boat in the final. Our boat that is second in points is driven by J. Michael Kelly. It's bright red. It's U12. It is the Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. Our fifth boat in our field is the U99.9 CarStar. In the water, Seafair, Seattle, buckle up. Here we go. Our love affair with H1 Unlimited hydroplanes is about to reoccur.
now it's time to go boat racing. Here's your boat racing winner champion heat presents for Seafair by Home Street Bank. Seafair thanks Home Street Bank, proud sponsor of the Home Street Bank Cup. The start of the champion heat is just a few minutes away. Seafair reminds you that for your safety and the safety of all those around you, everyone must be out of the water while the hydros are on the Ted Jones racing course. Now, it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. The champion heat is presented by Seafair and Home Street Bank.
Thank you very much, Kay Brewer. 4 minutes once again to go before the start of the 2019 Home Street Bank Cup at Seafair. Nate, you were talking about water conditions and how calm it looks, and you said it's going to last for about a lap. There's another piece to that puzzle. We've had 4 boats on the water all weekend. We've got 7 out there right now.
That makes a huge difference. You guys just take a peek at these corners. After the first corner or the first lap of this race, look at the water that's left in that corner after they get by. That water stays there the next lap around. This is only a 2-mile course. In a bigger course, it sometimes dissipates. This course, those lumps will be there the next time around.
And we mentioned that Corey Peabody in the U-98, the Graham Trucking American Dream, was the trailer boat. He needs to start 5 seconds behind the clock. So he needs to start 5 seconds behind everybody. Down in the lower corner, that's Jeff Bernard driving the Oberto Specialty Meats, the Oberto Super Salami. Following him into the lower corner is the 99.9 Carstar powered Miss Rock. That is Brian Perkins. Here comes the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. That's the U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. What a weekend they have had, Nate Brown. They are a player in this final if he gets in an inside lane.
They're my sleeper here this weekend. I know they can run some speeds. If he can get the inside lane, they're going to be a tough to beat from the inside.
They certainly are. You see Andrew Tate now in the predominantly white boat down at the lower end of the race course, checking the watch, 2:35. J. Michael Kelly is down at the lower end of the race course as well. So we've got boats at the top end. We've got boats at the bottom end with 2:25. And where is Jimmy Shane? Because we just saw him on a monitor. Looked like he was just crawling up the backstretch, and
I think he's down. I mean, he's barely moving up there in the north turn.
Oh, he is down. There he is. Oh, what a story this would be. Now Jimmy's bringing it back up, but there's going to be his 80-mile-an-hour warning. He has got to be careful now, but he clearly had a problem. He is up and running now. We see the rooster tail climbing, but is he behind everybody? I think with 2 minutes, I think he's probably still okay.
I think so, too. He could have been trying to wait to get himself in position, or it could have gone down to ground idle, which does happen in these things when you lift. If you lift too fast, it goes into what's called ground idle, and you can't bring it back until you get all the way down.
Oh boy, 1:42 to go, and these guys are going to continue to come all the way down. I think that's going to be a lot of time to kill with a $1:35. And when I talk about guys coming down here, it's Jamie Nielsen, it's Andrew Tate, and it is Jimmy Shane. Now watch Tate. Is he going to put himself in between those 2 boats? Is he going to try and squeeze it in?
He's right up in there.
Oh boy, that's going to get close.
He's trying to make a hole.
And oh, there he's getting wet down there. And believe me, Jimmy Shane's radio guy was telling him exactly what was going on right behind him. So Tate's going to be on the outside, but we're still looking at 1:05 seconds. These guys are early. 2 seconds, 1 mark, 1 minute.
JMK went through the course and grabbed the inside, so it's going to be a slow start, guys.
Oh boy, I hope they can. We're monitoring the official radio to see if there are any discussions about 80 miles an hour. So top end of the race course, it is J. Michael Kelly in lane number 1. I believe Nielsen in the U11 is in lane number 2. Jimmy Shane should be in the 3 lane. With the U6, the home street, there's a warning on the 12 for going too slow. Mike's got to pick it up a little bit. Lane 4 is going to go to Andrew Tate in the U1. Lane 5 is going to go to Brian Perkins. Still 20 seconds until the start. So they are really going to have to slow it down. Where is Bernard? I think he's on the far outside. He may come with a ton of boat speed. Now look at the boats at the top end of the course that are really moving. They're going to bring the boat speed 6 seconds, and we're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark, and look at Perkins coming from lane number 5. He is going to get down here first. The start is under review. Jimmy Shane is in lane number 2. He's coming hard in second place. They hit the lower corner. Who's going to get out of there first? Is it home street blue? No, it is J. Michael Kelly, but there's the home street. Jimmy Shane on the outside. Boy, we've seen this 3 or 4 times already this weekend, Nate. Jimmy Shane showing incredible speed up that backstretch.
He had amazing speed.
We have a penalty that has been issued on the 12. The Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. They have a 1-minute penalty. So basically, J. Michael Kelly is out of it. If anybody is going to take this thing away from Jimmy Shane, they're going to have to run him down on the outside. Andrew Tate's going to take a shot at him, Nate, but boy, that's a tall order.
Yes, it sure is, but he's pedaling that thing as fast as he possibly can, and Jimmy knows that J. Michael's out of it, but he also knows that Andrew's right there. He's still got his foot to the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Shane can actually go wide and leave plenty of room in there for JMK, because if we know the penalty, obviously Jimmy Shane knows it, so he can drive wide and make Andrew go around a bigger course. They are up the backstretch on the second of 5 times around the race course. Jimmy Shane is just flying up the backstretch. JMK is hanging with him on the inside. The Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing, but the problem is he's got a 1-minute penalty, so Jimmy is not worried about him. The 99.9, it has been ruled. Brian Perkins has jumped the gun. The start was under review. The 99.9 has jumped the start, and he too will get a 1-minute penalty. 2 in the books. Jimmy Shane ripping up the Ted Jones race course as he enters the lower corner. Got almost a full rooster tail now on J. Michael Kelly, but the important one is, Nate, he's opening up water on Andrew Tate.
Yeah, and one thing about these penalties, you say a 1-minute penalty under review, I mean, things have been reversed before, so these drivers are going, you know what, I'm going to smash the gas and still try to do as good as I possibly can. Not only for my sponsor, but there's a better than good chance something can be reversed.
That is exactly right, and we have seen it before. So JMK says, you just keep talking into my ear about that 1-minute penalty, because I don't think I deserve it, and it may get reversed. We will see. But right now we are being told of a 1-minute penalty on the boat in second place, the red one. The Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing coming down to put 3 in the book. Jimmy Shane has looked so strong all weekend. Could he be pulling together the perfect weekend, Nate? He's 3 up and 3 down with 2 to go.
He's looking great out there. He's rattling that thing back and forth, and he's got this floor smashed.
I've been getting paid $30,000 a month, if not more. Let me show you. Here.
The throttle smashed.
Our second place boat, he's running 3rd on the water. Second place is the U1 Delta Reel Track, Andrew Tate. Here comes Jamie Nielsen. He's 4th on the water, but currently in 3rd due to the 1-minute penalty in the U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Then it is Brian Perkins coming across, and he's got Jeff Bernard on the inside, but Perkins, we are being told, too, has a 1-minute penalty. Top end of the race course, north turn, 2 rooster tail lead for Jimmy Shane. Now what happens, Nate? Does he just start listening for any gremlins in there? He's getting a white flag. He's got 1 more to go.
Yeah, he's got the field covered right now. He's just trying to take care of his equipment, make sure he kind of keeps everybody behind him and finish this race without killing something.
So here he is down at the lower end of the race course. We will bring him around the race course. Corey Peabody yields and stays way wide, so he gives plenty of room there for Jimmy Shane in the Home Street Bank, the Miss Home Street. Powder blue and white, the U6, owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana. He's ripping up the backstretch. He's got a half a lap to go, and the Miss Home Street would claim the 2019 Home Street Bank Cup at Seafair. What a win that would be. Jimmy's from the area here, originally from the East Coast, now lives out in Maple Valley, so he's local now, but Home Street Bank is the sponsor of the race. Could they possibly have dreamed of a win with the Miss Home Street? Jimmy Shane comes off the upper corner, the rooster tail goes up, and he will come down and pick up the checkered flag.
That was a barn burner, looked really good. I mean, they really tried hard, all these boats, to make it well.
They did, and boy, JMK, got to feel bad for him. You know, we talked about it before. I have a saying that I like to make, that sometimes you can overpay for that inside lane. I think J. Michael Kelly just did that. I think he overpaid for it. He got up there too early. He had to back off, and in doing so, he incurred the wrath of the officials. So our second place boat should be Andrew Tate. Our third place boat should be Jamie Nielsen, and the U11 presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Our fourth place finisher should be the 1918 with Jeff Bernard. That would be the Oberto Super Salami.
One thing about that heat, Brad Luce, you notice that J. Michael Kelly never let off the throttle even after he found out through his radio personnel that he had a 1-minute penalty. And that is because he had his eyes set on the 98 of the Graham Trucking. If he could get around the Graham Trucking, that could have possibly moved him back up in the rankings a little bit more points. May not have been a first place point, but enough points to still inch up and get Jimmy Shane in the point standings for the national for the whole year season points. So I think that's what J. Michael Kelly, he hammered that thing all 5 laps. I think his goal was to try and catch Peabody.
So I think our 5th place finisher would be and this is all unofficial, but I think our 5th place finisher would be the U12. The Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. Our 6th place finisher would be the 99.9 CarStar powered Miss Rock with Brian Perkins, and our 7th place finisher. Oh, that's right. That's not going to work either. I got to work that out again. So the 5th place finisher would be Corey Peabody. 6th place would go to the U12 and J. Michael Kelly. And 7th place would go to Brian Perkins in the 99.9 CarStar powered Miss Rock. And boy, I am just doing that right straight off the top of my head. You had 2 1-minute penalties in there. So that drops JMK back, but he finished ahead of Perkins. Both of them got penalties. So one would finish 6th, the other would finish 7th. So that's how I've got it, but that usually means you pretty much bank that's not the answer. But I'll tell you what, that powder blue boat that we're watching here on the monitor, he aired it out, he drove it hard, and there's going to be a big celebration down there. He felt bad about what happened in the Tri-Cities. He was late to the start-finish line. He was dead on this time. He was ready to go, jump in.
Hey, Brad, I got